that is expanding. So that'll do it here for us on the WAG Show. Stay tuned. We are going to have a wonderful show coming up. Our SkyWatch Weather Seasonal Outlook coming up next.
A shot of apple cider vinegar is known to aid in weight loss, promotes digestion, and controlling of blood sugar. But who wants to take a shot of apple cider vinegar daily? No one. That's why Checkable Health is selling apple cider vinegar gummies. All the benefits of apple cider vinegar in a tasty gummy form. Hi, I'm Patty Post, founder of Checkable Health. I brought this product to market because I wanted the benefits of apple cider vinegar in a delicious, easy to take form. I love our array of customers in the Red River Valley. From Grandma Jill in Barnesville to Chris in West Fargo. The Checkable Health gummies are for anyone looking to kick up their health game. Buy a 30-day supply at checkablehealth.com and get 10% off your first order. 15% off just for subscribing. That's checkablehealth.com. Your favorite Midwest apple cider vinegar gummy.
970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.
And welcome to the SkyWatch Weather Seasonal Outlook. This is going to be a good show, everyone. We've got myself. We've got Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak from KSHB in Kansas City. Gary is the one who founded the LRC. We've got the meteorologist Justin Storm and our Ag Director Bridgette Readel to break down what this spring, if we ever see spring, and summer actually means for the ag community up in the Northern Plains as well. So, Gary, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, it's great to be here, be part of the show today. I'm excited to discuss it with you, talk about how we even make these forecasts long range and go over some of what has happened, what is happening. Whoa.
So, Gary, not a lot of people, well, they're starting to become accustomed to us talking about the LRC and what it means and how we forecast it. Kind of go over, how did you, I'll call it stumble across the LRC? It was years ago you found the LRC, and explain how it works to people that don't know anything about it.
Well, the LRC sets up in the fall and October timeframe, late September and early October, and evolves every year. A brand new pattern that has never existed before sets up. So the pattern we are experiencing this year has never happened before, and yet we know so much about it now in April that we didn't know in October when it was just setting up. We knew a unique pattern would set up. So I discovered this back in the 1980s, 1988. Before me, this very famous meteorologist, Jerome Namias, discovered something similar in the 1940s, but never quite put it all together. So we're putting it all together for you, and we're experiencing the results after 35 years for me, 40 years of working on this. So the pattern sets up in the fall, it's cycling, and it repeats over and over again. Dean, Justin, you learned it in the last couple of years, Dean, a few years ago, and I've been sharing it with everyone. So it's really a fascinating thing. I'd love to discuss it with you today.
Excellent. And can you tell us, Gary, so this starts right around October 6th, roughly. Why that day? Why does everything start to recycle on October 6th? Because I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, why is that the key date? Why October or right around that date? Can you explain why?
Oh, I hate coming up with specific dates, but it is around October 5th, 6th, or 7th that the pattern sets up every single year. And what happens, we believe there's an astronomical forcing to the cycling weather pattern. The river of air above us, about 10,000 to 30,000 feet up, centered on around 18 to 20,000 feet up. That river of air is cycling regularly. And the cause of it is still being determined. But we do know that October 5th, 6th, or 7th is when it starts. And October 5th, 6th, or 7th just happens to be when it goes dark at the North Pole. The sun sets at the North Pole every year on the autumnal equinox. So September 23rd, the sun sets at the North Pole every year. But it's twilight, whereas in North Dakota, you might have twilight for an hour or so, and then it gets dark. At the North Pole, the sun is taking forever to set, okay? And it finally sets, and it's just below the horizon. And so that twilight period is about 12, 13 days, almost 2 weeks. And that just happens to be October 5th, 6th, or 7th. When it goes dark at the North Pole is either coincidentally or possibly a symptom of what's happening. But that's when it begins, and then it evolves from there. You have October and you have November. This year formed into about a 9-week cycle, a very long cycle, the second longest cycle I've ever seen. So roughly about every 63 or 64 days, the weather pattern's returning. So when I was on your show back in October or back in December when we figured this out, and by January we really knew it, in March we predicted you would have April blizzards, and boy, have you ever.
Yeah, it's been a rough April. And I remember when we were on the Jay Thomas show, we were telling them, hey, in January, I said mid-April, mark it on the calendar, mid-late April, we're going to have a couple of blizzards and severe weather along with it. And sure enough, we had our first 2 confirmed tornadoes up here last weekend, along with, unfortunately, flooding rains and then a blizzard in the west. So, Gary, why aren't, and I've had this question thrown at me too, why aren't more meteorologists across the country using this technique? It's proven. I mean, we've got track records of how accurate this is long term. Why aren't more meteorologists using this? Any rhyme or reason?
Well, for any discovery in this world, here, let's say I'm the discoverer of this, and I have a peer-reviewed paper out there, and anybody can go search for it online right now, Cycling Patterns of the Northern Hemisphere. But for any discovery, it's difficult to be accepted. Scientists should be more open. You would think they're more open. But what scientists will try to do is disprove it. And as you continue to disprove it, and then you can't, then it eventually gets proven. Right. So, but I've had one peer-reviewed paper back in the 1940s. Jerome Namias had a paper published called the Index Cycle, and others. So there's other papers out there that are related to this, and we're bringing it to the market. So people that are using it are Dean and Justin with WDAY. You guys are using it now, okay? And this guy Eric Burris in Orlando, Florida, Jeremy Nelson, who worked with me in Savannah, Georgia, a couple of guys in Louisiana. So Brett Anthony down in Texas. So people are using it after they've learned about it and experienced it with high levels of success. And so it's not perfect. I raise the bar very high, and a lot of the listeners out there that have been listening to this for the past year know that we're claiming a lot of accuracy, but it is far from perfect, which is great. We will continue to get better and better and better and better as the next decade, next 2 decades, next half a century goes by, but we still have a lot to learn. As Dean, you and I just discussed earlier today, it's like, Gary, the temperature forecasts are a little warm. Oh my gosh, it predicted the storm. So the temperatures have been reading warm all season long, and I still have to figure out exactly why. However, it's art and science. We know that storm's going to be there, and I know and you know in April, if there's a really strong upper level low that tracks south of you, the chance of it being a snowstorm is extremely high. And we knew with our art that it was going to track south of you, and you guys got blasted. Fargo was more on the edge of these because those upper lows would come close to you, but North Dakota must be at record pace for the snowiest April ever. Are they? I don't know.
They just picked up 1 to 3 feet of snow with that 12th and 13th storm, and then they had another one come through Easter weekend that dumped another foot. Now there's another 6 to 10 inches of snow in their forecast for this weekend with this other storm. But, you go back to saying, the LRC isn't perfect. And, I would say it holds about a 70 to 90% accuracy rate for those long range forecasting. And last year it was spot on. It was uncannily accurate. And this year it's been doing the same exact thing. Of course it missed April, and there's a few things that we'll dive into for why we think that it missed at least the temperatures in April. But all the storm systems that we were forecasting back at the end of December, almost down to the day. And now we're able to make, 150, 200 day forecasts using your LRC method. And they're accurate. And sure, maybe we miss it by a day or two, but some people will miss a storm 7 days out by a day or two.
And Gary, speaking of the accuracy, I mean, and Justin and I have followed it, and I think we calculated it. It was over 80% for long term. That's just incredible. Our short term models can't even forecast that accurate within 3 to 5 days. So give us a few examples, if you would, for people that are thinking, whatever, this can't be real. Give us a few examples, whether it be the hurricanes you forecasted last year, which were spot on, or the hurricane outlook for this year, or just, severe weather too. The LRC forecasted a big severe weather outbreak down in Iowa, and that was forecasted about 120 days in advance. Can you give our listeners a little bit of a idea of the accuracy, and give some examples of that if you could?
Let me go over a few examples and what is accuracy? It's a good question, but I appreciate your confirmation of this 80% accuracy, which is just incredible. Right now, you put on the screen one of our predictions that's coming, actually. This is near Tyler, Texas. There was a tornado. You can see there if you're watching, but if you're listening, it happened on I-10 near the Texas-Louisiana border. And then about 128, 129 days later, 64-day cycle later, an Iowa outbreak of tornadoes, including 7 people that were killed. And unfortunately, but 64 days later is May 7th, May 8th. And just on today's data, a very big storm showed up. And guess what? It tracks south of North Dakota. So if it doesn't go too far south, you guys might get hit by that thing as well, coming up around May 8th, but it's really targeting Iowa and down towards where I'm at here in Kansas City for severe weather that day. So examples, can you predict a hurricane using this system? About 10 years ago, I did stumble across this. My weather team stumbled across it, but yes, you can. In fact, I just did an analysis. It's absolutely insane what it looks like for coming up around the end of August. There's a system that is going to be tracking south near Cuba. It'll likely become a major hurricane and affect Florida around the end of August. There are 3 of the cycles that have the system. So confidence is 64 to 84% chance of a hurricane, possibly a major one. And I'm also expecting hurricane season to be a little bit lighter than the last few years. But that is one part of the pattern that is going to be active.
And that's a little different from what the National Hurricane Center is forecasting too.
Above average season again, and I know why, because it's La Nina again. Usually La Ninas are more active. But based on what we know in the LRC shows that it should be a little bit below average, especially close to the United States. That doesn't mean there won't be one big one. Last year, Hurricane Ida. 6 months before Ida hits Louisiana, we make a prediction that Ida is going to hit Louisiana within a couple of days of it hitting. And we had one of our customers at Weather 2020 actually in position and there to help people that got hit by that hurricane. Fascinating example, guys. Something I didn't talk to you about yet, but maybe I did, about the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado. Remember, it's a 64-day cycle. Mayfield, Kentucky got hit by a devastating tornado. 56 people were killed. 90 people were killed that day. And that part of the pattern cycled back through April 13th, and another tornado hit Mayfield. Fortunately, just an EF1, so it was weaker. Just Saturday, there's this town called Sharon Springs, Kansas. Okay, they have they had a tornado on Saturday, an EF1 tornado, I believe it was, and go back to October the 12th, right on cycle, Sharon Springs got hit by a tornado. So it's a town of 750 people, a few blocks wide, and a tornado hit that small little town twice this year, and probably not again for 200 more years. But twice this year is an example that this year's pattern was able to produce a tornado in Sharon Springs, and this year's pattern produced another tornado in Sharon Springs. It's not like every time you have a tornado, you're always going to have another tornado. That is not what I'm saying. It still could be a few counties off, or maybe a strong thunderstorm that doesn't produce a tornado. But the same thing, North Dakota, you guys get this major storm system in October, and then we fast forward to April. It didn't have to rain in October. Sometimes I think one of them was a rainstorm, but it was cold enough. You guys got the blizzard. It's not a coincidence. And next year will be a completely different pattern. So those are the examples. Because if anybody's out there who wants to join, I got a special right now, Substack. It is, the account is, do you guys know what my account is?
I think there we go. Is it Weather 2020?
Yeah,
Substack.com.
Weather2020.substack.com. Weather2020.substack.com. And if you join now, tomorrow I will be doing a full posting. And if you're a farmer out there and you have your farm in your county you're in, let me know what county it is, and I'll include that into my my update that'll be coming in the next couple of days. But weather2020.substack.com. But anyway, those are some examples, guys. What do you think about that tornado example?
I think that it's super accurate with the storm systems that have been coming through. And I remember from our last discussion that we had with you back in November, I believe it was, you were calling for a very active severe weather pattern to be setting up, and that would continue through the spring and likely throughout the summer as well. Well, I was kind of interested in that. And sure, I've been paying close attention to the SPC convective outlooks, and there's been a lot of back-to-back multi-day severe weather outbreaks back there. And you were calling, I don't remember for the exact number, and you might have that on hand, but a little irrelevant. Just a very active, well above average amount of tornadoes that you would be expecting for this year. Well, last year, compared to this year, just from January, February, March, and April, you know, back in 2021, there were 16 tornadoes in January. This year, there were 48. Last year in February, there was 11. There's 16 this year. And for March and April, we're already over 100 more than last year. And it's very likely that that's going to continue. And with a couple of these major storm systems that we've been following that we have been able to forecast. And it's really cool to see that you have basically the same exact dates that I have on my piece of paper here.
And we're going to take a quick break here, about a 3-minute break. If you have any questions, shoot us a call, 701-293-9000. That's 701-293-9000. Or you can email us, weather@flagfamily.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to take a quick peek into the spring and summer months. We'll be right back.
Elite Outdoor Fun Store with playsets, trampolines, and basketball hoops. That's Rainbow Play Systems. It's time for the Slide into Spring sale with up to 45% off, $3.99 installation, and 12 months deferred interest financing. Lock in the fun now to enjoy it for the summer. Don't miss 45% off during the Slide into Spring sale at Rainbow Play Systems. RainbowofND.com and off 52nd between 45th Street and Veterans.
Rainbow is a beautiful thing.
When it comes to serving North Dakota and Minnesota commercial customers for plumbing and HVAC, new construction, remodeling, HVAC equipment service and maintenance, nobody does it better than Dakota Plains Mechanical. They know the systems that are key to your company's ability to function, and they provide 24/7, 365 service to all of their clients. If you have a building project coming up, tell your contractor you want a bid from Dakota Plains Mechanical.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? with Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Did you know there are 6 main types of corn? There's flour corn, waxy maize, sweet corn, popcorn, dent, and flint. Corn's scientific name is Zea maize. The word maize most likely comes from a Latin American Aboriginal tribe's name for corn, which meant life giver. Due to the unusual adaptability of corn seeds, every state in the United States has land capable of growing some type of corn, despite differences in soil and climate. These farm facts brought to you by the American Ag Network.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
And welcome back to the SkyWatch Seasonal Weather Outlook. Myself, Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak, who invented the LRC. We've got Justin Storm and Bridgette Readel, our Ag Director. And we're already getting some emails here. I love these questions, and they are just fantastic. Hey, I've got a picnic the week of May 30th through June 4th. It's a family get-together. What can we expect? Well, Gary, we went through the LRC and broke this down week by week. And up here in the Northern Plains, and this was an email from just outside the Twin Cities, and it looks like we're going to go through a stormy cycle right around that end of May into early June, the 31st through the 2nd. So we could have a wet Memorial Day weekend. We've got another email. How about the 4th of July? Up in the Northern Plains, same thing. It's going to repeat. We got another cycle of stormier weather coming through right around the 4th of July. That's not the best news for a lot of people that have outdoor plans, unfortunately. But what about the rest of the spring and summer here, Gary, according to the LRC in the Northern Plains? I know last year was just the farmers and ranchers hated it, but the general public absolutely loved it. We had a hot, dry summer. There was no mosquitoes up here. It was great for the lakes. Horrible for the farmers and ranchers. This year is a little bit different. Explain why.
And what you just did is like you just spewed off the forecast for Memorial Day and the 4th of July without even thinking about it, and you have confidence in it. Dean and Justin, would you have thought a few years ago that's what
Definitely not.
No chance. And, there's so much confidence with the LRC that, we could tell people. And like you said, Gary, you have people calling saying, hey, my daughter is getting married on this weekend. What does it look like? Can you imagine trying to do that without the LRC or even trying this 15, 20 years ago? It's just amazing. It really is.
I know any other weather system out there just doesn't have the ability to do that. Now, other possible ways of forecasting the weather are you can get a 90-day outlook from these other companies. Here's what's going to happen for the winter for the next 90 days. Above average rain, above average snow, and below average temperatures perhaps, okay? But that's just one snapshot in time. As you guys just discussed, you can go week by week accurately. We have one customer. I'd love to have him on the show sometime. His company is called Perfect Turf and Lawn. They do snow removal, and they have a big lawn business. And, this last few years, he's been pushing me. Gary, give me a week-by-week forecast. It can't be done, he was saying. So finally this year, he and I went out for a couple of drinks, and we sat back, and I brought my forecast and went over it with him week by week by week to let his company know when winter storms were going to strike. And he'll tell you, we picked out every single storm, which ones would most likely produce snow. It hadn't snowed yet in Kansas City as of December the 31st. And I said, hey, stay the course. I know we predicted around 20 inches of snow. Last year, we predicted 15 inches of snow. It was exactly right. This year, 20. And it started snowing right on schedule on the weeks we predicted it would. And his team was prepared, and they had the right amount of salt and equipment, and 20 inches fell after January 1st. So it's not always that perfect, but it is fascinating. So what was your question again?
That's okay. So just give a general overview of the spring and summer here in the Northern Plains, North, South Dakota, Minnesota. What does it look like overall compared to last year?
Well, last year, you were in more of a drought. The drought was expanding over you last year, and we said it's going to be a struggle. I mean, I know the corn crop, you farmers, you can tell me the corn and soybeans can be made with a few good rains at the right time. But last year we were concerned you might get one or two, but it was going to be a problem all the way through. This year, as we got to October and November, and we had our first discussion, we knew that you guys were in much better shape. The drought started contracting, and the nice soil conditions started expanding. Now, fortunately, eastern Montana and western North Dakota has been getting hit recently, which is a good sign that the drought will continue to weaken. As we go towards summer, the jet stream retreats and weakens. So these storm systems that have been tracking south of you and producing the blizzards, and there may be one more snow coming. I mean, there's a chance this week, and there's also a chance within 10 days, that big one coming. So we'll see about that. But the jet stream retreats north. What causes the jet stream is a temperature contrast. So during the winter, it might be minus 40 in Canada and 90 in Mexico. So you have 130-degree contrast in temperature, and the jet stream is really strong. During the summer, it might be 75 in Canada and 100 in Mexico, only 25 or 30-degree contrast, and the jet stream is a lot weaker. However, the LRC continues. The River Vare continues to cycle as the jet stream lifts north, and also continues to cycle as the jet stream develops and moves south during the winter. So we're in the same pattern in June, July, August, and September that we have already experienced. So the storms will be farther north. That means you might end up with some severe thunderstorms up there in North Dakota, and the snow chances finally go away. But the chance of a major heat wave developing is extremely low this year, because those systems are going to still track across southern Canada and bring you cold fronts. How far south will they get? Could there be a major heat wave in Texas, Kansas, and Missouri? There's a better chance of one down farther south. But for North Dakota, Minnesota, into the Great Lakes, these systems are going to move through and produce chances of rain and thunderstorms fairly frequently enough where you don't have to be that concerned. I don't think it could be a concern to be too wet at times. So we'll just have to monitor for that. But we can give you provide that week by week forecast. The product that we have, by the way, again, if you're just joining us, it's weather2020.substack.com, weather2020.substack.com. If you join, you can join for free, but the pay version for only $300 for a whole year is really worth it, because you get these updates twice a month. And if you ask me questions, I'll answer them for you and update you in the next one and get your county on there. So I try to give you the best information for that low cost. So anyway, that's how it works, guys. For this summer, near average temperatures, not hotter than average, and above average precipitation, wetter than normal.
That's great news for our farmers and ranchers as well. We obviously don't want another drought. Unfortunately, the precip that has hit the western part of the state, they need the precip, but unfortunately, it took a toll on a lot of the calving season out there and took some power outages. But again, the moisture is the important part, and they really got some much needed moisture out to the west. Again, if you have any questions for Gary, for myself, for Bridgette Readel about the ag, how this is going to affect the ag community, shoot us a call, 701-293-9000. That's our hotline, 701-293-9000, or you can email us, weather@flagfamily.com, and we will answer your questions. Also, we will be having this online. It's on Facebook right now. If you want to watch a video, you can ask your questions through Facebook if you want. We're getting a lot of individual questions. I've just gotten one. What does Richland County, North Dakota, look like for the rest of the spring and summer? And again, if you join Gary at weather2020.com or .substack.com, he can break down the counties for you individually, but all in all, it looks like a wetter than normal spring and summer for Richland County, with temperatures at or just a little bit above normal. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to go into May and June and break this down week by week, courtesy of the LRC. We'll be right back.
We provide unmatched service to all our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. We are the experts for commercial Butler building construction. Gateway Building Systems is here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation. Visit us online at gatewaybuilding.com or call 1-800-747-4499. gatewaybuilding.com.
Join the United Automotive team today. United Automotive is hiring for a service writer. They have great benefits with excellent pay based on work experience. You'll have your weekends off, and your work week will be Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You can pick up an application at any of the 3 United Automotive locations today. The perfect place to work is United Automotive. Apply today to see the benefits of being part of a great team.
Expert repairs from people who care. United Automotive Tech Center.
DJ Coulter, American Family Insurance. Kayleen, what do you tell folks when they ask who your insurance agent is and why?
I tell them that it's DJ Coulter with American Family. And why? Because he was the one and only person that was able to get my son life insurance when nobody else was able to. And I will forever be indebted to DJ for that. I love DJ. He's the most kind person I have ever met in my life.
DJ Coulter, American Family Insurance, 235-6641, djcoulter.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, have we got the car for you? It's the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. With sure-footed, symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus 9.2 inches of ground clearance, you can now explore like never before. Test drive the new Forester Wilderness today at Mosquitoes Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead, or check it out online at mosquitoessubaru.com. Go where love takes you. Subaru.
This is WDAY Fargo.
Celebrating 100 years of broadcasting on WDAY Radio. And looking back at the history of extension, the Smith-Lever Act of 1914 established a system of cooperative extension services connected to land-grant universities in order to inform people about current developments in agriculture, home economics, and related subjects. Just as society has changed over the years, so has the extension service. In 1862, when the Morrill Act was signed by President Lincoln, 60% of all jobs were connected to agriculture. Today, we find that less than 2% of the population is engaged in ag. Because the Extension Service continues to adapt the needs of its clientele, NDSU Extension will be relevant for years to come. NDSU Extension's mission is to empower North Dakotans to improve their lives and communities through science-based education. Here now is a radio report from the NDSU Ag Extension Service in 1949 on WDAY about how to grow raspberries in North Dakota.
For our concluding talk in this series of fruit discussions, we'll attempt to discuss today the small fruits which can be grown in North Dakota. Today, then, we will take up the raspberries, strawberries, gooseberries, and currants. I believe that I've listed these fruits in the order of their importance. Raspberries and strawberries are 2 fruit crops that do have some commercial possibilities in North Dakota, especially if the garden is located near enough to some metropolitan area where a market can be found for surplus fruits for these 2 crops. For all practical purposes, the raspberry should be confined to the red variety. We do have some black varieties that can be grown, but more or less of a novelty with us here in North Dakota.
WDAY continues this tradition today with Don Kinsler and Lawn and Garden Radio during the Jay Thomas Show, celebrating 100 years of broadcast excellence. AM 970 WDAY, Fargo, Moorhead.
Welcome back to our LRC Seasonal Outlook, where we were just taking a look at what the summer as a whole is going to look like for many of us across the area. And we want to encourage you to give us a call at 701-293-9000 if you have any questions for us or Gary or any specifics on the details on the forecast that you want to take a look at. And in this segment, we're going to take a look into May and June. But first, we do have a person on the phone lines. I believe it is Monty. Monty, welcome to the LRC Seasonal Outlook. What's your question?
I'd like to know what is the precipitation going to be in Williams County and Montreal County of North Dakota.
Person on the phone lines, I believe it is Monty.
Well, let's see if we can pull that up. And
so can you guys hear me?
Monty, are you still there?
Yep.
Okay, are you looking for the spring, summer, just in general, or?
Well, we need to have a drought broken. Can you help us with it?
Monty, you're going to have to turn your radio down. Please turn your radio off. Thank you.
Well, Monty, very quick answer to that would be we're going to be at or slightly above normal precip. So,
and that's at least for the eastern portion of North Dakota.
Right.
Now on the western side, they'll fall closer to average.
So we're not expecting below normal precip out in your area. So it should be pretty close to normal for this time of the year. So that's good news.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Thank you for calling, Monty. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we have let's go into do we have any other callers on the line there, Justin? Or
I think that Ronnie's on the line with one. I don't have any details from quite yet on it.
So Gary, I'm sure you've got we've got the maps that you sent us for what's coming up this spring. So we're going to touch on May and June here, and May, I mean, just around the corner, and we're looking at a real wet, obviously a wet start to the spring. During the month of May here. And according to the map that I'm looking at here, we've got a pretty, for the first week or 10 days here in the month of May, we're looking at a pretty wet pattern. Now, as we go into about the 10th through the 15th or the 10th through the 17th, it looks like we have a drier period throughout much of the northern plains. So that means great news for the farmers. They can finally get out in their fields because they haven't even been able to get out yet to do any planting due to the snow, wet soil, what have you. So it looks like we'll finally start to dry out during about the 10th through the 17th of May. Then, according to the LRC, around the 20th, 21st, all the way through the end of the month, we go into another wet period. Unfortunately, that does carry us through Memorial Day. So that's going to be another wet part of the cycle here, right around the 21st or so through early June. And then after we get past about June 4th, and this is fantastic. I mean, we've got all this written down here. After about June 2nd, we'll start to go in another drying trend as well. But later in June, and this would go back to what we had this month. Later in June, what we're seeing, according to the LRC, is a really active mid and late June, which would coincide with the 63-day cycle that we have this month, which has brought us such stormy conditions. Except when this comes back in June, we're looking at the potential of a pretty good severe weather outbreak up here in the northern plains. Is that what you're seeing as well, Gary?
Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now I got feedback this time.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe we should. That's probably better. Right now, guys, I just called up Williams County for that last caller, and it's interesting. I can go right into each county, one county at a time, and if there's any chance of some hotter weather, it'd be around the middle of June 15th. Then it dips cooler, just when you said late June, right? Is that when you said you were talking about it dips cooler in Williams County? I'm just looking at that. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, later in June, according to this. Yeah, it looks like a hotter than normal temperature, warmer than normal temperatures early June, and then dipping back down.
Right, because those storm systems come through. Now, always remember, summer begins June 20th, and the jet stream does lift north. So when that happens, then the storm systems get a little bit weaker. However, I think they'll be strong enough for your forecast to verify for that above average precipitation.
Yeah, and when we were just touching back on towards the end of June, we're really talking about the 19th to the 29th. We're going to see 2 or 3 major storm systems tracking through the northern or central portion of the United States. And that part of the cycle, the first storm that we're expecting around the 19th through the 20th is that same storm that produced that tornado in Mayfield that hit that factory. Then afterwards, what we've been referring to on some of our programming here is our flagship or our signature storm of the LRC. Now, this first came back through on October 13th. This brought a tornado threat to the Southern Valley with, I believe, 13 confirmed tornadoes and the first foot of snow to fall in western North Dakota. 63 and a half days later, this storm cycle re-emerged on the 15th of December, and that was the main characteristical feature that we used to identify the season or the LRC length for this year. And it did about the same exact thing, except it was a touch warmer. Some of it fell as freezing rain here in the FM Metro, but heavy snow just to our south. And for the first time in history, tornadoes confirmed in southern Minnesota for December. So using the LRC forecasting technique, we forecasted 63 days out in advance that we were going to see something very similar around the 16th of February. And sure enough, we had another major Colorado low rolling off the Rocky Mountains. We had cold air set in place over the northern Great Plains. So that deflected that storm system a bit further to the south, and it ripped through the central U.S., bringing a slight risk for severe weather from Texas all the way to the eastern portion of the United States. But then that was that same storm system that we forecasted another blizzard in the middle of April for western North Dakota, and then a tornado threat to the Southern Valley. And sure enough, that same thing replayed out almost to a T, following near identical track and just the way the storm was set up. Well, that storm system should appear again on the 25th of June, likely to bring another major severe weather outbreak across the central United States, stretching into the northern Great Plains, and very likely a multi-day severe weather outbreak across the central and southern U.S. to the East Coast.
Yeah, Justin, what you just said is just fascinating. I'm hiring you right now. That is just amazing work. that is really incredible.
We don't want to lose him. You can't take him, Gary. Sorry, man.
that is a great analysis and use of the LRC. The thing that I'd like to suggest is we always have to adjust. I'm not just covering myself here, but the late June version, when we go into the summer, the jet stream is so much weaker that it will likely impact North Dakota much more than the southern central United States and the southeast. Those systems in the summertime will lift north, will be much farther north, ending the severe weather season down south. But that doesn't mean you guys won't be under the influence of these systems with chances of severe weather. In fact, you probably have an active summer for severe weather up there.
Right. And I want to take a phone call really quick. If we can get Todd on the line. He had a question about the LRC. So, Todd, if you're connected, go ahead and ask your question.
Good afternoon. And thanks for your input on the show. The question I have is, I hear from a lot of the old-timer meteorologists that long-range forecasting is iffy at best. And yours seems to be working quite well, not right to the mile, but within the area. My question is this. Are meteorological schools, such as the University of North Dakota and other ones around the country, are they teaching your method of forecasting?
Good question. The answer is no, they are not, because it's brand new technology. Will it be taught next year or 50 years from now? That is hard to say. Now, tomorrow, I'm actually talking to the meteorology department at St. Louis University. It's one of the top meteorology schools in the nation. And so I'm going to be speaking to them, showcasing the hurricanes, the tornadoes that just happened, the weather pattern, and explaining meteorologically what's going on. Maybe one of those students will latch on and start working with us because more work needs to be done. But yes, you are correct. Forecasting 7 days out to 10 days out is challenging. The forecast using the LRC at 100 days out are as accurate as 5 to 7 days that are on your weather app on your phone. You look at that app, you see that you look at your favorite weather app, it shows 75 degrees 1 week from now. The average error is 8 degrees off. At 100 days out, the LRC average error is about 6 degrees off. So we're more accurate than that 5 to 7 day forecast. How is that possible? Why aren't other people catching on? You know what? I've got a business I'm starting. I've been trying to share it and give it away for 20 years. I still am. I'm on your show right now telling you about it. It's extremely important because I believe it'll save lives. It will benefit businesses. It'll benefit you farmers out there. It's insight you need to know now that you can use and rely on. And I'm excited to bring that to you. So, but yes, it's something that will happen someday and probably soon, within a decade, within a couple of years. And I'm bringing it to you guys and sharing it with you. And I hope it helps.
Getting your vehicle back on the road and game ready for a trip across town or across the country.
Sorry, guys.
Good ninth inning team. They finish strong. Vacuuming the interior and cleaning the exterior windows. Ask about the complimentary top-off service between oil changes. Jiffy Lube of Fargo with 3 locations for your speed and convenience. And no appointment needed.
Go to the one place that is your complete outdoor fun store with play sets, trampolines, and basketball hoops. That's Rainbow Play Systems. It's time for the Slide into Spring sale with up to 45% off, $3.99 installation, and 12 months deferred interest financing. Lock in the fun now to enjoy it for the summer. Don't miss 45% off during the Slide into Spring sale at Rainbow Play Systems. RainbowofND.com and off 52nd between 45th Street and Veterans.
Rainbow is a beautiful thing.
Looking for a truck you can drive off the lot today? Check with Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls. Right now, you can choose from more than 65 pre-owned trucks, even some heavy-duty trucks available. And if you're in the market for something new, Nelson can do that too. Order and customize any way you like. Get exactly what you're looking for. And if you change your mind, there's no obligation. Nelson has the best selection in the area. 65 plus pre-owned trucks, including heavy duties. Visit anytime at NelsonFergusFalls.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
North Dakota Farmers Union.
Decades ago, Farmers Union was founded by family farmers and ranchers, working hard to create a fair market system they could thrive in. Today, fair markets are a thing of the past because a handful of monopolies control meat processing, seeds and inputs, and marketing and retail sectors. It doesn't have to be this way. A healthy and vibrant farm economy is possible, and it can work for everyone, not just the powerful few. Join with Farmers Union and let your voice be heard at #FairnessForFarmers.
Hey, it's Spencer with Accord Comfort Sleep Systems, and we're excited to announce that we're open and ready for business in the Fargo area. Stop by today and check out our new and unique products and help us help you find your perfect sleep solution. Save up to $500 on any combination of sleep system with our grand opening to follow soon. Visit our website, accordsleep.com, or check out our store on 13th across from Olive Garden. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems. You're going to love sleeping with us.
Do you love working on cars but don't love your current job? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We're a family-owned full-service auto repair shop looking to hire skilled automotive technicians. With our state-of-the-art shops, great work environment with competitive pay and benefits, you'll enjoy a great job with a bigger purpose and a lot of opportunity for advancement. Visit FixItForwardAutoCare.com to apply. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Welcome back to the SkyWatch Seasonal Outlook, brought to you by Nelson Auto Center, Rainbow Play Systems, Farmers Union, Jiffy Lube of Fargo, Gateway Building Systems, and Dakota Plains Mechanical. Boy, I'll tell you what, this is I just had an email, Gary. Let's see. April wants to know, July 9th, getting married. What does it look like? So right here on this sheet of paper, I'm going down here. Okay, July 1st through the 8th, it's a little stormy period.
September.
And then 9th, 10th, and 11th looks good. So we can accurately tell her, because of the LRC, your outdoor wedding looks pretty good right now for July 9th.
I think it was September.
I've got July 9th.
Oh, is it July?
And that might be a different email you're looking at. There was one in September, and then there was one in September, and then we've got another one for July 9th. So let's see. Becky asks, how about frost and major freeze in May? That's a good question, Becky. Gary, it's what are your thoughts on May up here? I mean, it's an abnormally cool April, and I saw a little dip in the temps, it looks like, in later May. And I know a lot of people want to know, like, when's the last frost going to be up here? From the LRC, what can you see for mid-end May? Usually we should be done with frost by then. Hopefully.
You would think so. But what it's going to happen is, after the system goes by, this one in about 2 weeks, there may be a frost or freeze, and then that'll probably be your last one. There's one really big system due in around, it's the October 27th to 29th storm, guys. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. That is due in within about 2 weeks. After that goes by, there may be a cold surge behind that, and then that should be your last chance of a frost or a freeze. Hey, we just had a frost and a freeze in Kansas City yesterday morning. So we came 2 weeks late. There's a chance you will come 2 weeks late. But, I feel bad. Bridgette, you're just sitting there for a whole hour. Bridgette, we need to hear from Bridgette. What do you think of this? Is it new to you? Have you been paying attention to this? I'd love to just hear your input, because Bridgette's just sitting there, Dean and Justin. We can't let her sit there.
Bridgette's going to take up the whole 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock hour, but you're right. Let's get Bridgette in here, right, Bridgette? So, I mean, from what, we've been talking about so far, about May and June, we haven't gotten into July and August yet. What does this mean for the farmers?
Well, Bridgette has a gigantic list of questions and demands.
Okay.
Just so you're aware of that. I don't come asking things easily here. And I've been watching and listening to what you've been saying about our planting dates, how El Nino. There's been a lot of folks open on social media asking about, what does El Nino mean to this? And I think Dean already addressed it. And I don't just want to talk about planting dates and what's going to happen. We need to think about the health of our herd for the cattle producers, the folks who are raising sheep and goats. So we have lots of things that are going to need to come up that people want to be aware of. Thank you for taking the wind down today. I'm not done asking for more about that. Just so you know, it's going to come up again. And then we're also want to relate this not to what we do in production farming, but those backyard gardeners. It's near and dear to our hearts to make sure that our tomato plants don't die. And they want to get enough rain. We don't have to water them all summer long. So I like the method that you're using. I've been taking diligent notes. We're going to have lots of things I want you to answer.
I'm ready.
Timing will be right in the next hour. It'll work out great.
Okay. You ask me, you can ask 10 questions.
It's awesome.
I was going to say, why don't we take a couple phone calls really quick?
Yeah, let's take a couple phone calls here.
I know we're running a little behind on schedule for a little bit, so I'd like to encourage those who are calling and sending in emails. I see we got a bunch of them. We'll address most of the emails in the 4 to 5 o'clock hour, and if you can hold off your questions via phone from that 4 to 5 o'clock hour, that will be available on WDAY 970 AM, 93.1 FM. We'll be splitting from the flag at 4 o'clock, but you can tune back in or jump on our website, WDAYradionow.com, from that 4 to 5 o'clock section. We'll have it completely dedicated to phone calls and questions. But why don't we go to Austin really quick on the line one and see what he's got for us?
Yeah, I heard you're saying kind of a wet, stormy period over the Memorial Day weekend and kind of into the following week for up here. But does that apply to like South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming? I asked, we're taking a trip through Mount Rushmore and then over to Yellowstone. Will it be that way down there, or is that going to be more so in the northern plains?
Justin, you want to take that?
I saw Gary was trying to talk, but it looked like the audio wasn't going through. So yes, it's going to affect most of the area, and it'll start out west a little earlier, and then as they work their way more to the east, they'll get here into our area. But yeah, they are going to affect throughout the a little further south, say South Dakota, Nebraska, over towards Wyoming. Those same storm systems will carry over throughout that area. Well, there is that wet period where we're going to see, 2 or 3 storms between the 22nd and the 31st of May. And I find it pretty likely that 1 or 2 of those could be strong to where they could maybe even pose a risk for severe weather. So yes, to answer the question, they will affect just to our south for that trip period. You might be dodging some rain or some thunderstorms while you're making those journeys.
Any other phone calls there?
Yes, we had one. Looks like they had to leave though.
Okay. So July and August. Let's kind of touch on July and August. We already covered May and June here. And let's break down July. Well, we got like 6 minutes left here. We're going to probably have to bleed this into after the 3 o'clock hour as well. So I'm taking a look at the maps here, Gary, for July and August here in the Northern Plains. And it looks like let's go with temperatures here first. Temperature wise, we're looking at July starting off a little cooler than normal. And then we, as we head through July into early August, or right around the end, as we head towards the end of July, we rapidly warm up. In fact, temperatures rise up above normal here. It looks like by the start of August, we'll see a small dip in temperatures early August. By mid-month, we spike up again. And then, according to the LRC here, I'm seeing a pretty sharp fall off from about, let's say, August 20th all the way through the month of September. It looks like we see a sharp fall off during the month of September. All in all, with periods of precip, now I'm bringing up the precip chart here, a few storms, a few severe threats from the end of July, and then as we head into August, early August, it looks like a possibility of a multi-day major severe weather outbreak. And then we could see another severe threat towards the end of August. That was with the Mayfield. We were talking about the Mayfield tornado, and towards about the 21st. And then as we head into Labor Day, are we going to hit every stinking holiday wet here? You got to be kidding me.
I was just
you're in a wet pattern.
You missed one there. You forgot about the 4th of July week, Dean.
No, we talked about the 4th of July weekend. It was going to be wet.
Yeah,
man, people are going to hate us.
Now, I wanted to, Gary, now I have a question for you.
Is it better than a drought, though?
It is. It absolutely is.
We don't want to be swampy, though. Gary, I have a question for you with the LRC. So in these past couple of cycles, what we have fallen to up here in North Dakota is this about a 7 to 10 day period where we see 2 to 4 storms come through, and they're usually minor, weak. 1 or 2 of them have been fairly strong. And this period set up in Christmas, we got 17 inches of snow from 3 separate storms over 5 days. Now, when that recycled through in February, it came through fairly dry. Now we're starting to head through this period again, which is the period that we're in right now. And we're getting all these rainstorms. We had 3 to 5 inches of rain last week. We're getting another 1 to 2 inches of rain this coming up week. When this recycles back through July, is it going to continue that trend where it goes, dry in cycle 1, wet in cycle 2, dry in cycle 3, wet in cycle 4 again? It's kind of been bouncing off. Would you agree in that assessment with that 4th of July weekend, there will be 2 or 3 storms that come through, but maybe they could be on the drier side?
They probably will be a little bit drier. Now, this year, in past years, every other cycle actually works pretty good for some of those storm systems. This year, right now, we're in cycle 4 of this year's pattern. And it's mimicking and very almost identical to cycle 1 in October. So it's not quite every other cycle. So cycle 1 and cycle 4 are very similar. We're going to get the summer version of the weather pattern. So it won't be as strong, but you'll get adequate moisture, a little bit above average on precipitation as on the weeks you're expecting it to happen. And then another thing to notice, Justin and Dean and everyone out there, is that as we get towards the end of August and go into September, the jet stream starts strengthening again. Remember, the jet stream is caused by temperature contrast. And as it starts turning colder in Canada, the temperature contrast starts growing. So through September, we will still be in this pattern until maybe after September 23rd to 30th, when it finally starts transitioning to next year's pattern. So it'll be interesting to watch it amplify as we go in through the first half of September. Last year, I had a very accurate forecast till about the 20th of September, and then it started to fade away because that's when the new pattern started evolving. But it's absolutely something to monitor closely.
All right. Well, we've got a hard break coming up here. We'll be right back after the top of the hour.
This is WDAY Radio, AM 970 and FM 93.1, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.
The nation's top infectious disease doctor signaling the worst of the pandemic may be over for Americans.
A positive note from Dr. Anthony Fauci and a new assessment of where the coronavirus stands in the U.S. He says the country is out of the pandemic phase when it comes to new infections, hospitalizations, and deaths, and that the pandemic appears to be transitioning to an endemic disease, one that rears its head regularly in certain areas. Fauci's remarks on the PBS NewsHour cautioned the threat is not over for the United States or around the world, but that the worst phase of the pandemic has passed. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
The head of Homeland Security facing tough questioning today about how his agency will handle a surge of migrants when a COVID-era policy is lifted.
Before a House subcommittee, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas defended the administration's decision to lift Title 42 next month.
We started our planning last September, and we are leading the execution of a whole-of-government strategy which stands on 6 pillars to prepare for and manage the rise in non-citizen encounters.
As Mayorkas faced pushback from Republicans, he reiterated Title 42 is a COVID public health authority, not an immigration policy. Wynn, ABC News.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken also on Capitol Hill urging a Senate committee to approve more military funding for Ukraine. He also told the panel the U.S. will soon welcome Trevor Reed home, the former Marine freed from a Russian prison even as the war was unfolding. ABC's Patrick Revo says part of a prisoner swap with Russian pilot Konstantin Yaroshenko, who was convicted of drug smuggling.
The Biden administration was able to keep this track of negotiations going separately and made the decision also to free Yaroshenko. And we don't know why the Russians have agreed to do it, whether it's somehow an attempt to try and slightly marginally improve relations right now amid the war. That seems almost unlikely because of how bad they are, frankly.
You're listening to ABC News.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine, or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Former President Bill Clinton speaking today at the funeral of the late Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, saying he was first impressed with Albright's drive to do and bring positive change to the world.
I decided to ask her to be the ambassador to the United Nations.
because her life story was about to become the story of the last part of the 20th century in much of the world, and because she could be the voice of America at its best.
Madeleine Albright died last month at the age of 84. On this Holocaust Memorial Day, new research out of Israel says 2021 was a record-setting year for reports of anti-Semitic incidents around the world.
In its annual global study, researchers found physical assaults on Jews doubled in the UK, jumped up 30% in France, and in the US, overall anti-Semitic attacks hitting an all-time record, rising over 30%. The Israeli researchers attributing the spike in hatred and violence towards Jews to last year's Gaza war and the COVID-19 pandemic. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
More than 120,000 pounds of ground beef recalled due to fears of E. coli contamination. The beef is from Lakeside Refrigerated Services, a company in New Jersey. So far, there are no confirmed reports of illness or adverse reactions. This is ABC News.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with the Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Sunshine finally returns for this afternoon. We'll have a high close to 50. It will turn breezy with southeast winds around 15 to 25. Clouds will be on the increase overnight tonight as we drop down to a low in the mid-30s. And for Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, a few scattered showers with highs in the upper 40s. Rain chances increase as we head towards the end of the week, and the weekend looks wet with highs in the 40s. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at WDAYRadioNow.com. From the WDAY SkyWatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
Now's the time to spruce up the trim around the windows, add a pop of color to your front door, and paint the old planters. The team at Hirschfield's wants you to know that they have 5,020 paint colors to choose from, and their experienced staff is ready to help. At Hirschfield's, they don't sell light bulbs, lawnmowers, or lumber. They specialize in home improvement and decorating. That's their business, so why go anywhere else? Stop into your local Hirschfield's Paint and Coatings or go to Hirschfields.com to learn more.
And welcome back to the SkyWatch Weather Seasonal Outlook with myself, Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak. We have Bridgette Readel, our Ag Director, and we have Justin Storm, meteorologist here at Flag Family as well. So, Bridgette, let's get you in on the action here, girl.
I've been diligently taking notes. I'm all ready to roll here,
All
guys.
right. Well, it's your turn. We've had a few questions. Gary, let's see. Carol asks, she's like, I am a member of the Weather 2020. She's like, on Gary's Substack, will he be providing a week by week kind of farming calendar for us up here in the Northern Plains?
I can do that. That might take a little work, but what we'll do is I will give you that week by week. We have a computer model that's patent pending that I will share on there, and let me know after you join. If you want to join, by the way, it's weather2020.substack.com. And if you pay the $300, you'll be in where I can go and show your county week by week. But our patent pending model is fast, guys. Like, for example, it's global. If you want a forecast for Ukraine right now, I can give you a forecast for Ukraine day by day or week by week. Great Britain, Beijing, China, London, Africa. We have a customer in Africa that uses us now. An India customer uses us. A Brazilian customer that uses us. So it's global. It's fast. And yes, I can go week by week. So let me know what county it is after you join, and I'll try to get that in there. I'll update this every couple of weeks, twice a month, and I'll let you know. So once again, that's weather2020.substack.com. We're talking about the LRC. The pattern is cycling regularly. And as you know, with Dean and Justin, they're bringing you the most accurate forecast weeks and months out. And I'm just amazed if you missed the last hour. They just, off the you just like roll with here's the forecast for July 4th, no problem. And the probability of it being accurate is very high.
Well, thanks for saying that, Gary. And I want to go to the phones really quick. We have a couple of people that have been on hold for a few minutes. Judy, welcome to the LRC Seasonal Outlook. What's your question?
My question is, I got a grant. My son lives in eastern Iowa. Do you know what the weather will be for there this summer?
Yeah, I've got the model called up right here. I don't know if so what, do you know where in eastern Iowa?
We're by West Union, Iowa. It's about 100 and so miles from Rochester.
Okay, here, I'm calling up Iowa right now. And let me just go, this is for the whole summer. Let me just pick out, I'm going to go for the next 90 days, all right? I'll give you the next 90-day forecast. And
okay.
Just a second. I'm going to just call I'm putting in May 1st, and I'm going to put in July 31st, and push OK. See how fast this is. And here we go. And here is the outlook for Iowa. And then we get in eastern Iowa, we're looking at temperatures getting close to 90 degrees at the end of June. Another big warm up at the end of July, a little cool spell in the middle of July. And it shows eastern Iowa with 100% to 110% of average rainfall. So that would be, I mean, you're going to have adequate rain over the corn crop out there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. We have another caller. Justin?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Keith is on the line. Keith, welcome to the LRC Seasonal Outlook. Hey. What's your question?
Yeah, I called earlier, and then I didn't realize I had to stay on to get to ask the question. So, wondering with Nelson County in North Dakota, what it looks like for the summer. To ask the question.
You want to take that one?
I'm just trying to. I'm not extremely familiar with all the counties across the area, so I'm just trying to locate it really
Where's
quick.
Nelson County at?
That would be east of Devil's Lake on Highway 2.
Okay.
Okay.
So pretty close. Kind of, it's not far off. They won't be as wet as we will be here in the extreme eastern part of the state.
Yep. I still think they'll fall slightly above average.
Yeah, they'll fall just above average in terms of precip and pretty close to normal temperatures. Again, we'll see spikes here and there, but nothing, no extreme heat expected this year. So that's good news. Bridgette. Okay, let's get over to you, Bridgette. Are we done with the phone? Are we?
Yep,
we're clear on the calls. All right, Bridgette. All right. So you have a bunch of questions, right?
I do.
All right.
So
let her go.
Let's start right into May. We're coming up on May, and we know that that's going to be the place where we're going to have to focus most locally right now.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to plant a crop. We're going to have crop in the ground that's coming up as we get closer to Memorial Day. At what point are we past the possibility of a hard frost? And by hard frost, I mean sub 32 degrees for an extended amount of time overnight. So when are we going to feel that we're free and clear of that, Gary? Any idea?
Yeah, this next system is the October 27th, 29th storm. We are like close to October 20th. So about 10 days from now, there's going to be a strong storm, and it just showed up on these models that we use. And that will go by. As that storm goes by, there will be a shot of air from Canada that'll come down, and it may be just strong enough to give you temperatures dropping down to 32 to 38 degrees. After that passes, so that would be May 10th on, the chances are getting less and less. There's still one more system after that on November 11th. That will come back about 12 days later. So that would be Memorial Day or right before Memorial Day. So there may be one more chance there, Bridgette, but the best chance is around May 10th, right after that system goes by.
If I'm hearing you correctly, you're giving me an indication that the week of May 9th, May 10th in there, we're probably going to be back in the field, and we're likely going to be past the chance of a hard frost, which is great news as we continue to plant throughout the month of May. That will be important for a lot of folks.
I'm saying that you might have one more right around that, and then you're home free.
Home free after that. That'll be awesome. Now, I also know, as I mentioned earlier, La Nina. There's been a lot of discussion on social media of how it influences our weather. We may have some new listeners who have joined us now in the 3:00 hour. So would you please go back to that, Gary, and what you think about El Nino and how that may or may not affect what you're doing with the LRC?
Okay, El Nino and La Nina. El Nino is the warming of the tropical Pacific Ocean, and La Nina is the cooling of the tropical Pacific Ocean. La Ninas are generally not good for us out in the plains. This year, because of the LRC, you guys set up across North Dakota and Minnesota into this very wet and stormy pattern, and it just continues. But La Nina is influencing the pattern. There is a big atmospheric puzzle. When we talk about the LRC is the centerpiece of this big atmospheric puzzle. It's cycling in about 9 weeks, 63, 64 days on average this year. La Nina is influencing that pattern. The La Nina will strengthen, La Nina will weaken, and the LRC continues. So the pattern continues. But this influence is affecting areas. For example, you get down a little bit south of you, go to Pierce, South Dakota, down into Valentine, Nebraska, down to Lincoln, Nebraska. That area has been dry. They had almost no snow this winter, which is just incredible. And so it has been close. So La Nina could have affected you guys more, but because of the LRC, you should call it a blessing this year. It's set up really well to give you guys all this moisture to loosen up on the drought that you had last year. So yes, La Nina is an influence. I want it gone. I don't like La Nina. Justin, Dean, it drives me crazy.
I'll remember that in the future when it's time to ask those questions. Now, earlier I heard one of you mention, we want to get away. We want to break that drought. We want to go towards a more wet cycle. And that's true to a point, but we do have to think about our return on investment there. We need moisture. We don't need an excessive amount of moisture. In fact, you will hear some farmers tell you that last year they actually had reasonably good yields depending on if they got a timely rain. So that's really what it comes down to. We'd be okay if we're slightly on the dry side as long as that rainfall comes at the right time. So we'll see what this year brings with looking like more moisture for a change.
It could be a problem because you guys have so much moisture. Look at just since April the 12th. It's so much moisture. But I do think that my feeling, based on what we've seen with the LRC and what's been happening and how the jet stream will be moving north, I think you're in for a really good summer for the crops.
That'd be great. And I know that folks are going to be paying very close attention when it comes to also not just what they planted this year, but you were not talked about the 4th of July probably being a little bit more damp. That's a haying season for a lot of people. They may have some hay down on the ground. So they're going to want to pay attention to that too. When's the right time to cut? Do I have enough time to get it to dry out before I need to bale? So this is also really good information on that week-by-week calendar you've been talking about for us, Gary.
And Bridgette, if anybody joins this weather2020.substack.com, go into the comment sections, farmers, get in there and ask me these questions. Let me know when the hay is out there and when you want it to be dry, and we'll look into those next 2 weeks and see what it looks like. Because the LRC is really good. Justin and Dean, you probably would agree. When the GFS model, the European model, these other models that other meteorologists use, we know when they're right and when they're wrong. So if they show a storm 10 days out and it's a major snowstorm and it does not fit the LRC, then you'll go, hey, that storm is not going to happen like everyone else says it's going to, or vice versa, right?
We've got a hard break. We'll be right back.
Looking for a truck you can drive off the lot today? Check with Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls. Right now, you can choose from more than 65 pre-owned trucks, even some heavy-duty trucks available. And if you're in the market for something new, Nelson could do that too. Order and customize any way you like. Get exactly what you're looking for. And if you change your mind, there's no obligation. Nelson has the best selection in the area, 65 plus pre-owned trucks, including heavy duties. Visit anytime at nelsonfergusfalls.com. Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
When it comes to keeping your auto ready for action, Jiffy Lube of Fargo is the team to beat. The Jiffy Lube signature service helps your auto fire on all cylinders like an all-star. With a comprehensive preventative maintenance to check, change, inspect, and fill essential systems, keeping your vehicle game ready for trips across town or across the country. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, locally owned and operated with 3 Fargo locations for speed and convenience, and no appointment needed.
When it comes to serving North Dakota and Minnesota commercial customers for plumbing and HVAC, new construction, remodeling, HVAC equipment service and maintenance, nobody does it better than Dakota Plains Mechanical. They know the systems that are key to your company's ability to function, and they provide 24/7, 365 service to all of their clients. If you have a building project coming up, tell your contractor you want a bid from Dakota Plains Mechanical.
Hi, this is Kevin Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer's Auction Company. Pfeiffer's upcoming April auctions include nearly 1,500 acres of crop, pasture, and hunting land in Slope, Stark, Hettinger, and Dunn counties in western North Dakota, 224 acres of exceptional cropland in Grand Forks County, and 320 acres of exceptional crop and hunting land in Griggs County, and further auctions in Pembina, Stutzman, Wells, and Burleigh counties in North Dakota. View these auctions and many more land and equipment auctions at Pfeiffer's.com.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And welcome back to our SkyWatch Weather Seasonal Outlook. Again, if you have any questions for us, give us a call at 701-293-9000. That's a direct line into our weather studio here, 701-293-9000. Also, you can email us, weather@flagfamily.com. We've got a few questions here off of Facebook. Now, remember, Gary, when it was very windy in the fall, and we were talking about, there was a wind system after wind system, and, well, according to the LRC, we knew that was going to continue through the fall and also through the spring.
Right, and
the
Bridgette,
winter.
what has it been?
A bad hair winter. That's what it's been. This is a mess.
And even in
Bridgette, so is this. I don't have any hair, everyone.
And so Andy asked, with the constant windy weather we've been having, does this follow into the summer as well? And I guess the short answer is yes. But again, like Gary was saying, as the jet stream lifts north, we're not going to see as windy conditions. The main storm track will be to our north, and the strongest winds will be as well. But we're still going to see some windy systems come through. We'll be at the tail end of some of those cold fronts, and so it probably not as windy. But again, according to the LRC, it definitely looks like that will continue.
The systems, Dean, the systems will be weaker. And I had a project a few years ago where this company, they had a roof destroyed by a 58 or 60 mile per hour wind without a thunderstorm back in the fall. I think it was in February or whatever. And so they asked me to look back to the fall and see if there was a relationship to the LRC. And we did a whole analysis for them. And it was the wind, the storms that create the wind, the highest winds are absolutely predictable every 63 or 64 days as well. So if you have a major storm that's producing a lot of wind, then the chance of that returning on cycle is extremely high. And I remember in March when we were talking about it, we thought it would continue to be windy, and it continues to be so. But as you just said, in the summer, the system should be a little bit weaker.
So I'd like to take that a step further. And that is, when we are looking at wind throughout the summer, what affects us a lot in the farming community is the fact that we need to be able to spray a crop, perhaps an insecticide or a fungicide, to remove a pest that's out in the field. And there are rules and regulations on each one of those products that's used as to how high the wind speed can be. So when we look at that LRC, when people go and subscribe, Gary, are you able to tell them, like on a week-by-week basis, what that wind is going to be like so folks can decide, is this a week I'm going to be able to spray or not?
That product is available, but I haven't tested it, Bridgette. So that's one of the ones where we could put a wind parameter on there and test it with you all this summer. And I can go get my analytics guy to add in the wind parameter. Just know, and Justin and Dean will be tracking it, these systems that produce the wind, they are strong low pressure systems, and they create the wind, the pressure gradient gets real tight with the isobars getting close together. Those will return on schedule. Those in-between periods, I'm not sure how great it'll be on that parameter, but the biggest wind events will return as expected, and we can let you know which weeks those will fall in.
Yeah, and those are going to follow along with those big storm systems, but the general extreme windy conditions we've had with all the active storm systems coming through, I think the extreme winds will become a little lesser. Sure, it'll be breezy, and I think that would be good for some of the agriculture out there as well, Bridgette. I don't know if you could explain, but when I would do greenhousing back in high school, we had a couple of classes dedicated to that. You would want a lot of air movement to kind of keep the humid, moist air from moving around underneath the plants.
Well, that's to a degree, absolutely. You need some wind to remove moisture that is in the crop canopy, because if you think about a disease triangle, you have the inoculum in the soil, which means you have the disease that's present. You have the host plants, and I'll use soybeans in this example. They have a very dense crop canopy. And then when you have all that moisture, so you've got the weather, the humidity, that really helps to develop a disease situation. Now, that will happen later in the season when your crop is larger. And again, you've got that thick crop canopy to work with. When your crop is smaller and it's at its most vulnerable stage, and that's the time frame that you need to be making sure that you're controlling weeds, well, that's when we're going to run into trouble with that wind. That wind's got to be down. Ideally, we want to be at 10 miles or less in many cases. And there are some herbicides that allow you to go to gusts up to 15. Generally speaking, we want to stay away from that, and we want to put product where it should go, and there it'll stay there. So I'm going to have a balancing act for you guys. I want less wind early on for sure before I get to a part of the season where a little bit wind helps move us along and prevent some of our disease situations.
Right.
This is great information, Bridgette. I love listening to you. I mean, were you a teacher or an instructor at any time?
So I graduated with a degree in ag education. I'm supposed to be teaching high school ag. But instead, through internships and whatnot, I spent the last 25 plus years working in crop protection. So my job really was to sell and educate on pesticides.
Wow.
And we've got about 4 more minutes till we have to take our next hard break. Bridgette, what you said you had a whole list of questions.
Here we go.
Let's hear them.
All right. So we talked about some of the wind. Humidity is also a real factor in disease pressure. And also, it helps us with the efficacy of some of our herbicides. If we're looking at a more stormy summer, can we count on a little bit more humidity than we did last year? Because that will really matter for us, especially in the case of using a product like glufosinate in soybeans.
Yeah, the humidity will be increasing in front of each storm system, so that you're going to get a surge when you have that south wind that'll increase the humidity. We do have a humidity product that's been really accurate, so I'll have to pop that into the site so we can see when the humidity is forecast to be highest and lowest. But the good news is these systems, as they pass through, the humidity will drop with each one that goes through. Even during the summer, you'll get those little breaks.
Yeah, and the bad thing about that, also, I think we all know up here last year, I mean, we're known for the mosquitoes are as about as big as a plane. And we hardly had any mosquito population up here due to the dry weather. It was really nice. But again, with the humidity we're expecting this year, that is going to really change. So that's
Dean,
not the best news.
I know we've got a break coming up, but I'd like to circle back to mosquitoes and that population later on, because we did have a low population of mosquitoes, but there's a caveat to that. So we're going to have to talk about that as we come back.
Awesome. Yeah. Also, we still have a little bit of time before we go to that hard break, but I just want to let you know, Linda, we'll come to you on the phones right after that break, just because we'll be crunched on time to get your question and an answer.
And we've had plenty of email questions, and we'll get to those here as soon as we can. You can message us on Facebook. We'll answer those questions. But if you have any questions, ag questions this hour, or just general questions about the LRC, shoot us a call, 701-293-9000. That's 701-293-9000. Or, again, you can email us at weather@flagfamily.com. We've got Gary until 3:50, and then he has to get ready for his show down in Kansas City. I'd like to thank our sponsors. I'd like to thank Gary for joining us up to this point. It's been a great informational hour and a half so far. Man, does this fly?
Yeah, it really does go. Yeah, we thought an hour last one wasn't long enough. I think we need 3 hours.
Right. And I've got an email here. Is there any possible way you can break down week by week? You did May and June. Can you break down July and August? And, if we get time here, we're going to focus on ag this next half hour. If we don't get to that, and where was that? Was it Andy? Somebody on Facebook. If we don't get to that, we will be posting an article on our website probably over the next few days that will break down week by week during the months of July and August to kind of give you a heads up plan. Gary, I've gotten like 3 emails. My daughter is getting married on such and such a date. Can you give us an idea? And before I learned the LRC, there's no way we could have just, hey, July 9th, it's going to be fine. But if you're getting married over July 4th, yeah, you might have a problem with rain. So again, I can't tout the LRC enough. And I know you know that. And I can't wait for word to spread and for people to actually kind of latch onto this. Especially, we've got to get this into the universities and get these professors teaching this method, because this is definitely going to be the next wave of meteorology forecasting. We've got a hard break coming up here. We'll be back in about 4 minutes. Stay with us.
North Dakota Farmers Union.
Decades ago, Farmers Union was founded by family farmers and ranchers, working hard to create a fair market system they could thrive in. Today, fair markets are a thing of the past because a handful of monopolies control meat processing, seeds and inputs, and marketing and retail sectors. It doesn't have to be this way. A healthy and vibrant farm economy is possible, and it can work for everyone, not just the powerful few. Join with Farmers Union and let your voice be heard at #FairnessForFarmers.
Gateway Building Systems. We provide unmatched service to all our customers. Butler Builder understands this. We combine creative design capabilities with superior workmanship to deliver optimal building solutions. We are the experts for commercial Butler building construction. Gateway Building Systems is here to build your project and maintain it for the next generation. Visit us online at gatewaybuilding.com or call 1-800-747-4499. gatewaybuilding.com.
MyPillow has had some amazing offers lately for our radio listeners, and it's about to get even better. Going on right now, they have slippers for 50% off. That's right, 50% off. These are some of the most comfortable slippers you will ever own. They also have sheets 60% off and as low as $39.99, available in multiple colors, styles, and sizes. You can find these offers at mypillow.com and click on the radio listeners square, or call 800-875-0644 and use promo code WDAY. With each purchase, you will also receive Mike's softcover book, What Are the Odds? From Crack Addict to CEO. Absolutely free. Just use promo code WDAY during checkout, and the book will automatically show up in your cart. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener square, or call 800-875-0644 and use promo code WDAY to take advantage of these special offers. That's mypillow.com, promo code WDAY, or call 800-875-0644.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, have we got the car for you? It's the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. With sure-footed, symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus 9.2 inches of ground clearance, you can now explore like never before. Test drive the new Forester Wilderness today at Muscatel's Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead, or check it out online at muscatelsubaru.com. Go where love takes you. Subaru.
We've got Brian in studio from Collins and Cronk Raymond James.
Brian, I was visiting with my girlfriend the other day, and she's just a few years from retirement. She was wondering if she can still retire if there's a recession just around the corner.
This is why planning is so important. When Collins and Cronk does a financial plan for you, we look at several different scenarios. We consider the positives or the good times, as well as the bad. What if there is a recession? We do the math so we can answer your questions with confidence. We want to help you make smart decisions like when to retire or what investments to use.
Whether it's a recession or an economic boom, Collins and Cronk can help you make the right decisions. If you have $500,000 or more, call Collins and Cronk in Fargo today. 701-235-0119, 701-235-0119. Securities are offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. Collins & Cronk is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. Technology shares took a beating yesterday and dragged the NASDAQ Composite down 4%, its worst loss since September of 2020. The Standard & Poor's 500 dropped 2.8%. The Dow Jones surrendered over 800 points to land at 33,240. Underlying the declines was the fear of a global economic slowdown, an investors' resulting decision to ditch tech stocks. In after-hours trading, shares of Meta and Alphabet both continued to slide. Home prices, though, are headed the other way. The latest National Home Price Index shows them shooting up nearly 20% in the year that ended in February. That's the fastest pace since August of last year. Well, the line at Chipotle should move a little faster. The CEO of the fast casual burrito chain says staffing levels are where they were before COVID-19 struck. Comes as the company plans to automate some of the more tedious jobs like making tortilla chips. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Welcome back to our seasonal outlook. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm, joined here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Gary Lezak, and our Ag Director Bridgette Readel is here, and we're going to jump onto the phone lines here. But first, I would really like to thank our sponsors for presenting this to you. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, Dakota Plains Mechanical, Rainbow Place Systems of North Dakota, Gateway Building Systems, Nelson Auto Center, and North Dakota Farmers Union. So let's jump to the phones right now. Linda, you've been on hold for a while. Welcome to the Outlook. What's your question?
I would like to know if you could tell me what Stutzman County is going to be like this summer and what the last week in July is going to be like in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Which county is it?
Stutzman County.
How do you spell that?
STU.
STU. Oh, it's Stutzman County. I got it. Stutzman County. I got it. I just Stutzman County. I just called it up. I just want to
pretty similar.
Click it into my model and see. It says that you're going to be 120% of average rainfall. So that means 20% above average rainfall this summer for you guys.
Okay.
And
what about the temperature?
The temperatures will be around average.
Yeah, real close to average.
See, what was that bump in July, and then again there was two bumps in August where we'll get a good little heat wave almost.
Did you guys see the data that just came in on the NAM model? Just came in. It's got Fargo getting blasted by very heavy rain on Friday night.
Not what we need.
And snow in western North Dakota.
Yeah, that's
from the NAM, that doesn't surprise me with the amount they've been dumping.
Yeah, and Rapid City. She wanted to know about Rapid City.
She wanted to know about what the end of July was going to be looking like, and from what I have on my sheets here, is that end of July time period looks like it's going to be a very active period with potentially a few severe weather potential storms specifically that last week of July. And Gary, I don't know if you would agree with me on that assessment, but that's what I've been able to determine.
Yeah, one of the stronger systems that has been producing severe weather will be cycling back through. And for those of you just joining us, we're talking about the LRC, my hypothesis that I developed in the 1980s with the research all the way back to the 1940s. And this year's pattern happens to be about 9 weeks long, 63 to 64 days. Justin has said 63.5, and it's literally right about 63.7 exactly, Justin. So it's been pretty amazing and consistent.
It really has. And we got one more phone call on the line, and then Bridgette, we're going to throw it back to you because we know we're stealing your time. This is your hour, so I apologize for that. But Wyatt, you're on the Outlook. What's your question?
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, we have a trip planned to South Carolina mid-July. I was curious to see if we know it would be stormy or what the weather would be like around July 15th through the 18th in basically the Charleston area.
South Carolina. Okay, let me look.
It's going to be fairly quiet for the most part. I think there's going to be maybe one storm before the middle of the month, and then
what dates was he talking about?
Around the 15th of July.
Okay, let me just put in specifically the 14th on my computer model to the 16th. Let's see how close it is here. It shows for those 2 days, it's calculating South Carolina. For Charleston area, it has rain. Let's see. Oh, it's raining near Savannah and Hilton Head, with thunderstorms just southwest of Charleston. So it does look like there's a chance of rain those 3 days. But still pretty nice. You'll still have some good summer weather. Okay, I'll still make it nice for you guys.
All right. Well, thanks for your help.
All righty, you bet. Bridgette, I'm going to take. We've got one real quick question that we're going to throw back to you. This comes from Tom. He says, "Thanks for the great program today. North Dakota raises a lot of the same crops that the southern and western Canadian prairie provinces do too. My question is, will southern Manitoba, southern Saskatchewan experience the same pattern this summer that you're predicting for North Dakota?" And I quick answer on that is, from what I'm seeing, Gary, according to the LRC, it should be pretty darn similar to what we're seeing here in North Dakota.
Yes, it's going to be the same systems will broadly move by and affect that same region. But yes, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, Bridgette, come on, you've got a whole list.
Oh, I do. We're going to keep going. And we keep talking about what's potential for rainfall and so forth. And I just want to make sure that we understand rainfall means clouds, means lack of sunshine. And that will be a problem for us because we want to make sure that we get enough warmth and heat for growing degree days for our crop. So if we're starting to see things that are overcast days, that could be a problem. Last summer, I had some discussions with folks because of the Canadian wildfires and all the smoke that rolled into us and how that blocked our sunlight for a while. So even though rain is a good thing in the right timing, we do want to remember that those overcast skies can also hold us back in our maturities on our crop too.
Right.
Now, I also wanted to bring up mosquitoes because
that's right.
We know that in a summer where we have less rainfall, we typically have less mosquito population, except for the fact that the mosquitoes that are here are of a mosquito variety that is more likely to carry West Nile virus. So when we see a drier summer, West Nile is usually more prevalent across our state. And I will be an advocate for controlling mosquitoes, making sure that we don't have that particular species of mosquito. My dad died of West Nile virus in 2013. I will go to the mat on this one, gentlemen. I would like to make sure we don't have mosquitoes that are going to be a problem for anybody in any summer. So that's my PSA.
So wet weather and cloudier is good.
It could be depending on which mosquito variety we have. Yes, we may see more overall population, but less that carry the West Nile virus. Yes.
How about the ones the size of airplanes that Dean talked about?
and they're like a state bird. When you can hear a mosquito incoming at your picnic, you know that's a big one.
Oh, gosh.
Now, with LRC, you've also talked about hurricanes. We don't exactly worry about a hurricane system moving across the state of North Dakota, but I do worry in the fact that can affect some of our ag processing further in the southern states, like it did this last year between hurricanes, heavy ice storms, etc. What's our forecast for hurricanes? More severe, less, more than usual? Any indication there?
Yeah, the other forecasts that have come out are strongly leaning towards another very active hurricane season. For the United States, I do not think so. The system has been sound. We did a 25-year analysis of hurricane seasons. And in that analysis, we get early indicators, just like Justin and Dean are doing when we go into October and we have these major storms, they write them down. That's an indication of what's going to happen the rest of winter and spring. And this storm system you guys just had last week, the week before, all predicted by Dean and Justin right here. So you guys are using these early indicators. This year for hurricane season, there are very few early indicators, much lower than I've seen in many years. So based on that, I'm expecting a less active hurricane season for the United States. There may be a whole bunch over the Atlantic Ocean. I argue that, but they will be harmless over water. But the United States may have 2 hurricanes, 4 named storms last year. There were 8 this year, 3 or 4 that might make landfall. And there's one part of the pattern that we see as a very significant part of the pattern that could produce a major hurricane. The target would be Florida and the southeast United States. And this would be towards the end of August. But keep in mind, what is 63 or 64 days before the end of August? It would be that mid-June timeframe. So around June 15th to 20th, we'll be looking for a weaker tropical storm around Cuba that will be affecting or heading towards Florida. When that develops, and there's a very good chance of that, that will trigger an 84% chance of a major hurricane coming into Florida. But that's the only part of the pattern we see. The rest of the pattern looks weaker, and that's why I think we might have one big one, but overall, a calmer season. That makes sense.
And I thought that was pretty funny that you said the end of August, because me and Dean had a little side bet going on. I have a sticky note on the back office, and when we come back, I would love to know what date that is, because I have it was either the 25th or the 28th of August.
Gary's got to leave us after this because he's got to get ready for a showdown in KC.
Right,
Gary, anybody that wants to join Weather 2020 and get specific updates on your seasonal outlook, what should they do?
Please join. It's weather2020.substack.com. You can see it there if you're watching. If you're not, it's weather2020.substack.com. You can join the free version. I do update that as well, but I add in the model data, our patent pending model data, to the pay version. So it's only $300 right now at a discount for an entire year. Or if you want to try it for a month, it's just $50 a month.
WDAY Radio is your home for the best June 2022 election coverage in the area.
Affordable housing, finding a house, first-time home buyer is a huge problem right now.
We bring you all the information you need directly from the candidates themselves.
You know, more and more people are involved and paying attention, right, to local issues, and that is extremely important.
To find out more, head over to WDAYRadioNow.com and click the Hot Links tab for your June 2022 election guide.
If you haven't been to downtown Fargo lately, it's worth another look. With something new around every corner, you're bound to fall in love with your city all over again. Envision yourself living in the heart of the energy and visit livedowntownfargo.com to see everything from historic character lofts to brand new state-of-the-art apartments, all surrounded by locally owned shops and restaurants. Visit livedowntownfargo.com or call 701-430-8615. Find a new place to call home in downtown Fargo.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, have we got the car for you? It's the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. With sure-footed, symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus 9.2 inches of ground clearance, you can now explore like never before. Test drive the new Forester Wilderness today at Mosquitoes Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead, or check it out online at muscatelssubaru.com. Go where love takes you. Subaru.
People ask me, who can I trust in the media? It's a good question. A recent study finds Americans don't trust big media. 65% of Republicans don't trust them at all. The source I trust is Newsmax. I go online to Newsmax.com for breaking headlines. I watch Newsmax TV all the time. I even downloaded the free Newsmax app on my smartphone so I can watch it anywhere, anytime. Nielsen recently reported that almost 7 million cable viewers watch Newsmax, but not Fox News. That's huge. So many people are making the switch to Newsmax. Start every day with Wake Up America and Rob Finnerty. And the team at night is great. Eric Bowling, Chris Salcedo, Sean Spicer, Lindsey Keith, Greg Kelly, Stinchfield, Rob Schmidt, and great weekend shows with Huckabee, Diamond and Silk, Gorka, Wendy Bell. 20 million people have made the switch and watch Newsmax all the time. Try it. You may never go back. Newsmax, real news for real people.
Hurry into Menards to save big money on your next project with 11% off everything. Add style and security to your home with Schlage. We carry more than 200 Schlage lock sets in stock. Check out our great selection today and save with 11% off all Schlage deadbolts and lock sets. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through April 30th. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
And welcome back to the SkyWatch Weather Seasonal Outlook here. Boy, what a jam-packed, we're going on 2 hours here of information.
It's been a quick 2 hours, too.
Gary had to get ready. He kind of got cut off at the end there. So can we throw that graphic back up there real quick, Chris? So if you are interested, I know he got cut off at the end there, and joining Gary's service, it's weather2020.substack.com. He's running a special right now just for our listeners, $300 a year. And then he also has the free version, so you can do that. But for the $300 a year, he does update quite a bit more, and you can ask for your specific county that you live in, and he will help you out with that. So again, a great afternoon with Gary and the LRC, and boy, I mean, did you get all your questions answered, Bridgette? Probably. I mean, you've got a long.
I've got a lot, and those are things that we can talk about throughout the remainder of our week as well, because we all get together on a daily basis now at 1:00 every afternoon as part of midday. We call it the WAG, the Weather Ag Focus, and we want to make sure that we can continue to answer questions for our livestock as well as our crop producers. And I know we talk a lot about farming, but for the folks who have livestock as well, this weather pattern that we've been talking about with more moisture really is going to help us see some recovery in our pastures and our hay ground from last year, which truly took a beating with such limited amount of moisture. I do feel grateful that we will see some moisture and some recovery in that situation.
Right.
Bring some of our herds back.
And even out west too. I mean, we were kind of worried up until the last 2-3 weeks. It's like, hey, they haven't really gotten the moisture that they were supposed to, but boy, they played catch up real quick, that's for sure, which is great news for them. Not great, obviously, for the snow and all that. But as Gary said, our latest computer model is even printing out quite a bit of rain here over the weekend. Now, right now, we're looking at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. I haven't looked at the latest model runs, and the river forecasts are kind of based on that already. So if these computer models are jamming out 3-4 inches, then we might be looking at not only for the river basins, but for agriculture. I mean, we don't need 3 or 4 more inches, even 1 inch or 2. Right now, we don't need it. We have to dry things out so we can get out in the fields.
We'd really love to see that. And we'd like for some of this pasture to dry off as well, because we want to make sure that livestock can get back out. So they're not all cooped up in barns. They're going to want to enjoy that sunshine. And we want, and really, when you have sopping wet pastures and feedlots, it's really tough on the soils. So getting a chance for things to dry out and just recover is going to be important for everybody.
Right. What other questions do you have there, Bridgette? Maybe we should
be able to answer
we should be able to answer some of those. Hey, by the way, beautiful shirt. If you're not watching, I'll post it on my Facebook. And it is just that. I love that shirt. It's
really good.
It's a very colorful. You think Jay Thomas has colorful shirts, right? Bridgette has a corn cob shirt, bright yellow corn cobs all over that with the green leaves. I mean, come on, how do you not love that shirt? That is awesome. I got to get one of those. I'm not sure where I'm going to wear it, but
I wasn't going to let Jay Thomas win the shirt award today, so here I came with my custom made
beat today.
Custom made corn shirt. So as far as questions, I heard you all discussing earlier with Gary a storm that's on the dry side. Okay, tell me why I would have a dry rainstorm, gentlemen. Could you explain that?
So a dry. So when you hear a dry storm, we're referring to wind over rain, and that's not to say that rain won't be mixed in there or in spots with the storm, but that period that we were specifically talking about, which is this inflection in the cycles that we've been seeing from every other cycle. It seems like we have this one period where the the cycle gets a little chaotic. The storms still fall in the same spot. They're just arranged a little differently on the timing. But in cycle 1, they were dry and they were all windstorms. When they came through in December, they were snowstorms. We got a lot of rain or moisture out of them. We got that 17 inches of snow around the Christmas period. When that came back through in cycle 3, they were dry. And now here we are in the 4th cycle and they're wet again. So if that pattern continues, that first week of July 1st through the 8th, where we'll see 2 or 3 storms, it's likely that 1 or 2 of those could be dry. There'll be more wind than it is rain or anything.
Would you see lightning strikes as a part of that as well when you say dry?
You could. And the part that I'm going to associate with that is when we get these storm systems that track through they all carry a cold front. And if there's enough moisture and it's warm enough, when that cold front rips through, depending on how strong it is and how exactly the atmosphere is compiled up to the upper part of it, if we are able to build in any instability, we'll likely see thunderstorms developing along that cold front and then just strong wind right behind it. So yes, there could be lightning that's associated with it, but that's only if the instability and the moisture is in place. So if one of those comes through and it's dry, it's just going to be wind.
And I also think we'll have questions, particularly as our summer rolls on, people being curious about the percentage and chance of hail that we might have, because we know that certain stages of the crop, hail damage is going to be more detrimental than others. And as we get into that later part of the season, into July, August through crop development, we'd really like to avoid hail if at all possible. But you guys are going to help keep us on track if that may or may not happen.
And I think we have a caller. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. Doug, you are on the LRC Seasonal Outlook. Thank you for calling. What's your question?
The wife and I are planning on taking a motorcycle trip to Nashville on the 20th of May and leaving that Friday and coming back a week from then. Is it going to be just around here rainy, or are we going to have to plan another way to go?
Well, with that, there's going to be a couple of storm systems that come through around that time period. You said that you were taking off around the 20th and then coming back a week later, so about the 27th?
Correct.
So I see from what has already come through and what I've been able to analyze is that we'll see likely one storm come through, which would track through, the northern central plains and then eject off towards the east coast. I don't think that storm is going to be necessarily a big deal, but it could pose a risk for severe weather. But I don't think it's going to ruin your plans overall. Just maybe one afternoon you got to, hang inside while that storm pushes over.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And then one other thing.
Sure.
I'm a Legion rider, and our big ride is July 23rd. And I'm sorry I didn't catch what are you looking for then?
Are you talking here in the FM area?
I am.
Okay, so July 22nd through the 25th. Looks like we're going to have, from what I've got here, 1 or 2 storms that'll be coming through the area sometime in that 22nd through the 25th time frame. It doesn't look like a big deal from this standpoint, but something we'll keep an eye on. Now, later in July, there's a better severe threat potential for the 28th through the 30th.
Okay. Thank you, and thanks for all you guys do. This is really neat.
Great.
Yeah, very welcome.
Glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks for calling very much, Doug.
Yeah, and again, if you want to join in our show and you have any questions, call the hotline here at 701-293-9000, 701-293-9000, or you can email us at weather@flagfamily.com.
Yep, and Bridgette's here as well, so you can ask all the ag questions, even if it's not directly related to weather. She's here. Ask those questions. Give us a call.
Absolutely, because I'll try to answer those as best I can. And the good news is, if I don't know the answer today, I bet I will tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And
Right.
we're going to be coming up here in a couple minutes. We're going to have another hard break, and we're going to lose all the folks over on the Flag, KTGO and WZFG. So if you would like to continue listening to us with another hour of this LRC Seasonal Outlook, more for questions, answers, and discussions, but we'll also, we'll recap and we'll go back over a little bit what we had been talking about. You can switch over to 970 AM or 93.1 FM, or you can join us live on our app or online at WDAYradionow.com, and that will start at 4 o'clock.
And I was just taking a look. I know Gary said something about, did you take a look at the new NAM?
I did.
That's one of our, and yeah, they're printing out 2-3 inches of rain now. But they're also swiping, and again, this is just one model, but some heavy rain from north central Nebraska all the way through, let's say, Sioux Falls in southern Minnesota. That is one area that really needs it as well. So these areas that have needed the rain are really they're receiving it finally, especially down to our south in the Central Plains. The forest fires and just they're bone dry, so it's good to see there. But I'll tell you, drought conditions, according to the LRC, are going to continue for areas of, let's say, southwestern South Dakota, so at Black Hills area, down towards the panhandle of Nebraska, western Kansas, Texas, all the way into the desert Southwest. Not the best news for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. And I see the phones are lighting up here. I promise you guys we'll get to you right after our next break. I just don't want to bring you on and then accidentally get you cut off because of a hard break. So we'll bring you up at the top of the hour, about 4:06. If you can please hold on for a few more minutes, we'll get to you in a few moments.
And any quick, we've got about a minute and a half here.
We've got about a minute and a half here.
I do.
Okay.
As someone, I'm a home gardener as well as the work that I do in ag. And I think that for those of us who are in that gardening atmosphere, we're going to wonder about bugs, because a lot of times if you have a drier year, you have grasshoppers and whatnot that start moving into your garden. And from the looks of the model that I'm seeing and listening to you talk about, we may have an opportunity for less insects in the garden this year. And I think that's a positive. So I'm sure when Jay has Don Kinsler on next time, that's maybe something they're going to want to talk about, is what could we be doing for maybe insect control, but hopefully we don't have as much.
Right. The other nice thing with this too, sorry, Ronnie, is that with those home gardens, last year I was watering it twice a day, and I don't think we're going to have to do that, at least for the good bulk of this summer. Maybe just limit it to one a day.
And probably not as many grasshoppers either. I remember going on the trails and they were flying in my face.
Speaking of that, so I was just driving down I-29. I know we're cutting up here quick. I was driving, and out of nowhere, I hit a bug with the car. It was the first bug of the year. I finally hit it.
We're going to throw to break now, and we will be back after the top of the hour here to continue our weather special here. Jay Thomas is going to join us, and we'll invite your calls again, 701-293-9000.
On the job for you with the largest news and weather teams in radio. This is WDAY Radio, AM 970 and FM 93.1, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.
Good afternoon, Ty Schoenert here, WDAY News First. Today's news is brought to you by Lakeland General Store for everything you need at the lake. 4 o'clock right now and 47 degrees outside Hector International Airport. Clay County deputies say they seized more than 1,000 fentanyl pills and 20 grams of methamphetamine this morning.
This marks the third seizure in Clay County along I-94 in just the last 2 months.
Moorhead Police Chief Shannon Monroe says more than $37,000 of fentanyl pills and methamphetamine were seized. He says this might be just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to drugs in our region.
With a seizure of this size, the thing to keep in mind is that that's only what we're catching. We have no clue how much is getting through.
The suspects are in custody and an investigation is ongoing. Grand Forks leaders are taking extra precautions as work continues to get Fufang Group's corn processing plant green lit in the city.
It obviously is in China, so there's been concerns about national security. So we have engaged with, making sure that it's not part of an economic don't do business with. It's not part of an economic cluster that our White House or national security agencies say, we got to protect these industries. It's not in those veins.
City Administrator Todd Phelan says a meeting is taking place on Wednesday between city leaders and the FBI to learn more about the group's ties, if any, to China's Communist Party, as well as other groups potentially looking to invest in the area. Investigators are releasing the cause of a drone crash near Grand Forks Air Force Base. Officials say pilot and instructor error led to the crash of a $64 million Global Hawk drone in a field about 7 miles from the base in August of 2021. The report released Friday by Air Combat Command says 3 pilots, including an instructor pilot, made a series of errors giving commands to the drone. The drone was flying a mission in the local military operating area when it returned on autopilot and overshot the approach. A mattress retailer is opening a new store in Fargo and moving their corporate headquarters to the city after their family business was launched in Harvey 42 years ago.
I think what's happened is just, again, with not just the internet, but the commerce connections you have via the web, the world's just such a small place now. So I think you can do anything from anywhere. And that's what's crazy. Yeah, Harvey, North Dakota, very small community. You wouldn't think that a mattress company would get its spark out of that size of the community, but we did.
Rod Marchland is the president and CEO of the Marchland Retail Group, which includes Accord Sleep Systems. His twin sons are now third generation to assume leadership positions in the company, and their growth plans include offering retail franchise opportunities across the United States. And former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is appealing his conviction to the murder of George Floyd. His attorney, William Moran, is arguing that the pre-trial publicity and the threat of further rioting made Chauvin's trial unfair. Moran also says numerous jurors feared for their own personal safety and that jurors weren't sequestered when unrest followed the death of Daunte Wright following the last week of the trial. Chauvin was convicted last April of murder and manslaughter in Floyd's death and was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison. This is Ty Schonert with WDAY and WDAYRadioNow.com. More of The Jay Thomas Show coming up.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Trevor Reed freed from a Russian prison today, part of a prisoner swap between the U.S. and Russia. His parents pushed for his release, saying the former Marine was wrongfully charged and in poor health. His father, Joey Reed, telling ABC News he spoke to his son earlier as he boarded a plane in Turkey.
We're very thankful. They're going to fly him to a military hospital somewhere, and they're going to give him a full physical and evaluation, and then we're going to go through whatever we have to do for however long it takes to get him healthy again.
The parents thank the Biden administration. Signs today a criminal investigation into former President Trump may be winding down.
A special grand jury that had been hearing evidence as part of the criminal investigation into former President Trump expires at the end of the week, and sources told ABC News it will not be extended. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office had stopped presenting evidence once new DA Alvin Bragg questioned the strength of the case. 2 senior prosecutors resigned, one of whom said Trump is guilty of numerous felony violations. Trump has denied wrongdoing. Bragg insisted earlier this month the case remained active. Grand juries sit all the time and could hear evidence and weigh an indictment. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
The funeral held today for America's first female Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, at Washington National Cathedral.
President Biden, former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sat front row to the funeral ceremony of former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Biden remembered Albright for being a force for goodness in foreign policy.
Having gained the blessings of liberty, she wanted nothing more than to share them around the globe.
Albright broke glass ceilings and left a legacy behind for other women and leaders. Emwin, ABC News.
An investigation by the state's Human Rights Department in Minneapolis found probable cause that the police department and city have a pattern or practice of race discrimination. You're listening to ABC News.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
At CDW, we get you can't lock up your devices. Your workforce needs the freedom to roam.
Final boarding call, flight 555 to New York.
And wherever they go, productivity is key. But with Microsoft Surface devices pre-configured and deployed by CDW experts, you'll get multi-layered security and seamless experiences to help productivity really take off. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/.
Mainly clear skies this evening. It will be on the breezy side with temperatures holding in the 40s as clouds increase tonight. That'll put a cap on our temperatures, dropping off to a low in the mid-30s. And for Thursday, breezy with a few scattered showers, highs in the mid to upper 40s. A better chance for rain overspreading the area Friday and this Saturday with highs both days around 50. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at WDAYRadioNow.com. From the WDAY SkyWatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
Pucklet Chevrolet's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues, as you'll get a $1,000 truck month accessory allowance on new 22 Silverado 1500 LD and HDs and Colorados. Plus, we'll cover up to $250 labor for installing GM accessories at Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City.
See dealer for details. Ends 5/2/22.
Broadcasting live from the Miller High Life Studio. This is the Jay Thomas Show on WDAY.
All right, we're going to get back at it. I got my studio back for the last hour.
Does it smell like donuts and fear?
It smells like meteorology. all stuff.
Donuts and fear?
I thought he said beer.
Oh, donuts and beer?
Smells like Poindexter in here.
Hey.
How about that, ladies? All right, Jay Thomas Show. Of course, today it is the spring and summer outlook. I know there's a lot of callers on hold. You've been waiting a while. We're going to get you in a second. Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, Meteorologist Justin Storm, our Ag Director Bridgette Readel's in here now. Gary has left, so this last hour we'll take phone calls for questions regarding the outlook. I tried writing everything down, and every time I started writing, it was a phone call. So we're gonna have to recap. And I did have people reach out to me and ask, "Will you guys please, Jay? Will you have them recap in the 4 o'clock?" We will.
Yeah.
But let's get to these calls.
Yeah.
293-9000, toll free 1-888-970-9329. Those are the Thor Building Studio lines, post frame construction for ag and commercial industries. You can also email. We got a bunch of those. That is talk at WDAY.com. Comes through our Tyler's Tree Service inbox. All your tree needs, and a little bit I cut, you're probably going to need Tyler's tree cut a few times this summer. All right. And the sponsor, I don't have the sponsor list in front of me. I apologize. Can we please plug these sponsors? Somebody got that list in front of them?
I do.
Yeah, who do we got, Ronnie?
All right, so we are being brought to you today by Jiffy Lube of Fargo, Dakota Plains Mechanical, Rainbow Play Systems of North Dakota, Gateway Building Systems, Nelson Auto Center, and the North Dakota Farmers Union.
Love it. Email already hit. Where's Jay today? I missed the beginning. I'm right here, man. Right here. All right, let's get to it. Hey, Paula, thanks for hanging on. You're up on a Jay Thomas Show with the meteorologist and Bridgette Readel of the spring and summer outlook. Where are you calling from?
Lidgerwood, North Dakota.
Love Lidgerwood. What's your question for the great minds in here?
Yes, I was wondering what the weather would be like. Syracuse, New York, May 25th.
Oh, she's getting right down in the dirt, man.
East Coast, huh?
Wow, East Coast. Do you really want to go out there?
Yes, I know.
What's going? What do you got? A wedding?
Hoping to get to a national fast pitch tournament again. We were there last year with Science School out of Wapaton.
Very cool.
Yeah, so hoping to make it back. And last year it was really wet and cold, so I'm hoping for something better.
Right. Okay.
And Justin, honestly, I'll just be up front. We don't have like East Coast or Gary has that at his disposal. We have it in the back in the weather office. We could figure that out. So if you want, we can.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on hold, Paula.
Yeah.
Ronnie's going to get your email, and these boys will get you.
We will get you the information needed.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks so much.
Okay, hold on, Paula. 293-9000. Monica, you're up on the Jay Thomas Show for the WDAY SkyWatch Spring Summer Weather Special. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Fargo.
Fargo. What's up, Monica?
Well, and my question is kind of similar to Paula's. We're going to be spending a week in the Florida Panhandle at Panama City the last week of October, and I would like to know how that weather is going to be.
Now that we can't answer. Here's why. Because the news cycle resets at the beginning of October. So we can't go into October yet because the new pattern, the new LRC pattern will reset early October. So we have no clue what that new pattern holds. So we won't be able to tell you that until sometime in October.
But I can tell you right now, you're going to be in Florida. It'll be gorgeous, Monica. Beautiful down there.
Awesome.
Pack your sunscreen.
Get the sunscreen
It'll
out.
be gorgeous. Thanks, Monica. Appreciate it. I got an open line. Joe, you're up next, 970 WDAY, 93.1 FM, the Jay Thomas Show, and the weather special. Where are you calling from, Joe?
Kindred, North Dakota.
Kinnard, what's your question for the boys? Or Bridgette?
So my big question, Father's Day weekend, Minneapolis. Can I go to the Back to the 50s car show?
Oh, dude, good call, man.
Justin, you want to take that or you want me to take that?
Yeah, if you tell me what day Father's Day is.
So
June 18th.
June 18th.
Bridget comes in and saves the day.
There we go. June 18th looks in the clear. The day or two after that, we'll probably see some storms.
Nice. Well, I got the days off, so I'm going to be there. I just wanted to make sure if I needed to bring sunscreen or an umbrella.
Always pack the sunscreen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Joe.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Joe.
it, guys.
You got it, brother. 293-9000. If you've been trying to get through, I got 2 open lines right now. Toll free, it's 1-888-970-9329. We'll go down to Detroit Lakes. Hey, Scott, thanks for hanging on. You're up.
Yeah, I was wondering what the weather is going to be like on June 28th for Detroit Lakes.
Boy, what I wrote down doesn't look good, buddy.
It looks like that's where we could have a multiple severe weather out. You said June 28th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at the 25th through the 29th. We could have a multiple day severe weather outbreak.
Maybe we'll miss one day.
I got to find what's going on the 28th in Detroit Lakes that I don't know about.
That I want to go to.
No, it's the wife's birthday. You're going to take her out on the pontoon on the lake for the day.
Nice, dude. Very nice. Very nice. Well, looks like it's going to be hit and miss.
Yeah, you know the big storm that just came through that brought a bunch of snow out west. It brought that tornado threat to the Red River Valley just the other day.
Yeah.
A little bit weaker version of that storm will come back on the 25th of June. And then we're watching for a secondary storm behind that on the 28th or the 29th.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, thanks, Scott. Appreciate the phone call. Let's go to who's been waiting the longest here. David, you're up on the Jay Thomas Show for the SkyWatch Weather Spring Summer Weather Outlook. Where are you calling from, David?
Abercrombie. Open at August 6th, I think, is our 13th or 14th annual Firefighters Rodeo.
Oh, yes. Buddy.
August
hoping
6th.
The weather's nice. A few days ahead and a few days behind because we don't want a wet field.
Well, it looks like, according to the LRC here, August 2nd through the 5th, a possible multi-day major severe weather outbreak. And then it looks like it's okay all the way through the 11th.
Well, hopefully you're right. I hope it's just a little rain, though. We don't need a wet rodeo ground.
No doubt. Yeah, it looks like at least a chance for severe weather beforehand. So
we got to get Jay there this year, though.
I try to get there. You guys, when you have it, I always have something going on, but Alex and I want to come down there. I mean, you guys give me the shirts. I proudly wear the shirts. I gotta come down there for the what is it? The shovel racing? Is that what it is, David?
Shovel race. Yep.
Oh yeah. What do they do? Time behind a horse, then you go racing around, or how does that work?
I think I don't remember now. I'm also busy working. I can't watch the damn rodeo.
Okay, so if I remember this right from as a kid, there's a shovel tied behind the horse.
Yep.
Jay's going to ride the shovel while somebody else runs the horse, and then we're going to see who crosses the line first.
I was thinking we're going to put Bridget on the shovel. That's what I was thinking. Bridget's on the shovel. I'm going to crack the horse in the arse and let it take off. Hey, David, appreciate it. Glad you're listening, man. 293-9000. Let's go to West Fargo. John, you're next.
Watermelon Day, Vining, Minnesota, August 20th.
All right, August 20th.
I hope all you people listening are writing this down because that's what I did back in December, and I was just shocked how this stuff was so close.
So we are looking at 17th through the 19th, possible severe weather threat. Then we're in the cycle 6th, and we could have something else on the 21st. So it's all around your date. You said the 20th, right?
Yep.
Oh boy. That's and again, these systems could be a half a day off if they are with it sandwiched. I mean, you're right on that 18th, and then it cuts off, and then another system coming in close to the 21st. So right now it looks okay, but again, we're a day, it's both sides of the 20th. We've got the possibility of severe weather.
And when we get down to those days too, keep in mind the bulk of the day could be decent, but it might be later in the afternoon, say a cold front swinging through on the bottom of that storm. It just depends exactly how it tracks. Really don't know that until we get to the week of the event, but we can see where they might set up. you might be dry for most of the day and then just get some strong thunderstorms in the evening. That's a pretty common thing up here too. So that's the severe potential. That's a lot of times what that's going to lead up to.
Hey, John, let me play this out for you, okay? The day's going to go okay, and then when the real fun and excitement gets going on Watermelon Days, that's when the storms hit. That's how that works.
Come on, Jay. Give me something good, man.
That's how that works, brother.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Man. Hey, guys, I'll write them down during the break, but I'm going to ask you, cruise night, we're back on Cheyenne Street in West Fargo. Thousands of people show up for it. Third Thursday of the month, June, July, August, September. I'll get those dates.
Get the dates.
Oh, I'm going to get the dates during the next break. We're going to go up to Grand Forks and talk to Dan. Hey, Dan, you're up on a Jay Thomas show for the spring-summer weather outlook with Dean, Justin, and Bridgette.
Okay, you guys, I got an outdoor wedding in July, on July 22nd in Lakeville, Minnesota.
July 22nd.
I feel like a lot of people should be renting tents.
That's what this pattern sure seems like.
It does.
July 22nd through the 25th. 1 or 2 storms are possible right around the 22nd, 23rd, possibly lingering in 24th, 25th. Doesn't look like a very strong signal. I think there's a better severe threat potential towards the end of July.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, thanks, Dan. Glad you're listening up in the Grand Cities. I got a ton of emails, but one of them I got to read right now because this he's dead on the money. I love this. Sounds like it'd be easier to disclose just the nice days this summer. We can wrap this up in 15 minutes.
No kidding. Yeah, you said you had an email about a wedding in Detroit Lakes?
Yeah, let me find that one. Here it is right here. It's from Paul. Great show. We have our daughter's wedding in Detroit Lakes, July 30th. How does it look for us? I have a sound effect for it, Paul.
You have that thunderstorm?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and play that sound effect?
Yeah, here it is.
You. How dare you?
Actually, July 28th and the 30th. So we're right on that. There's both severe threat potential there at the end of July.
It's just.
Yeah. And I think that with that storm towards the end of July, that's going to be one of those days where, it's just a warm, humid day that it's nice for the afternoon. And then you get hit with that cold front. You spark off that line of thunderstorms. I think that's what that date's going to look like at the end of July is where you get those, most of the day is good. And when you get to the tail end of the day is where you start to see those storms develop.
All right, guys, hold on. Let's take a break here. And we got full lines. If you're calling and you can't get through, just keep trying. We're going to talk to, let's see, who are we going to next? It's going to be Jim. Then we're going to talk to Kathy. Then we're going to go down to Hankinson, talk to Beth. Then we're going back to Mora to talk to Jerry. Then we're going out to Frazee to talk to Bill. I got your emails. We're going to get to those. It is the spring-summer weather outlook, the LRC. And I hope you folks are writing this stuff down, man, because it's pretty darn accurate. All right, more with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, Meteorologist Justin Storm. Also, our Ag Director is Bridgette Readel. She's in here as well. Ronnie, 494, handling the board. And I just came in here and
tell you what
took my chair back.
I'll tell you what I'm writing down. I'm getting into the tent rental business.
Yeah, no kidding. 420, Jay Thomas Show. More the weather special. We come back.
Hi, I'm Kevin Wolf, president of Laney's. Do you wish you had more outlets in your home? Or maybe some new high-efficiency lighting fixtures? If so, you need to consider Laney's for all of your electrical needs. Our electricians are courteous, clean, and professional, and you can trust that they will get it done right the first time. So for peace of mind, call us today at 237-0543 or visit us on the web at laneysinc.com.
828 is just great.
Attention, all firearms collectors, firearms dealers, hunters, and other firearms enthusiasts. Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Association Gun Show will be in Wahpeton for the first time, April 30th through May 1st at the Wahpeton Event Center. There'll be tables full of guns, ammo, and accessories on display. Buy, sell, swap, trade. You don't want to miss this. The Dakota Territory Gun Collectors in Wahpeton at the Wahpeton Event Center, April 30th and May 1st.
Hey, it's Jay Thomas, and I got to tell you, I'm hungry, and I'm hungry all the time. Listen, when I want to grab a hot and ready-to-go meal in a short time, I go straight to PetroServe USA. 12th Street in Fargo has hot lunches every day, plus the 4-for-4 breakfast burritos. Oh, man, they are fantastic. Snacks and so much more, and they are all over North Dakota, so no matter where you go, from Bemidji, Minnesota to Mandan or West Fargo to Wahpeton, there's a PetroServe USA near you with American refined petroleum straight from the Bakken and Canada, too. Get filled up at PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better.
The legal world can be challenging enough on your own. So, the Coffee Club wants to give you some help. Every Thursday, Paul and Janae have teamed up with legal minds at the local law firm, and they'll join the Coffee Club at 10 a.m. Thursdays. This is your chance to talk with a lawyer to give you the guidance you need in all matters that could land you in front of a judge. Don't miss Ask the Lawyer with the team from the Vogel Law Firm on the Coffee Club with Paul and Janae. Thursday at 10 a.m. on AM 970 and 93.1 FM WDAY.
More of the Jay Thomas Show in 60 seconds.
Why High Plains Apache? Well, there are so many reasons it's why High Plains Apache. Ask your neighbors about their sales and service or new and used deals on sprayers. The parts and service department, and yes, a very well-respected sales department. Everything you'll need to get started this season with the sprayers for your operation. You'll find out a lot more at the website, High Plains Apache Sprayers. You'll find them at highplainsapache.com. That's highplainsapache.com.
Today's Jay Thomas Show is brought to you by United Automotive Tech Center.
I think maybe we need to tell these people when we say that we're talking about these storms, these chances for severe weather potential, we're not talking about the buckets of rain coming down where we're getting 3 to 5 inches of rain each storm. That's not what it is. Those big storms, those are going to be pretty sparse, but we're trying to tackle some of the more moderate sized ones.
Only put so much lipstick on a pig, okay? We like sunshine in the summertime.
I mean, there's going to be days.
It's going to be cloudy, and it's like a rain about a half. No, we want sunshine and nice weather. Hey, the sponsors for this spring-summer Outlook weather special, Jiffy Lube of Fargo, Dakota Plains Mechanical, Rainbow Place Systems, and North Dakota Gateway Building Systems, Nelson Auto Center, and also North Dakota Farmers Union. Before we get back to the phones, let's see. A couple. Jay, my wedding is in Fargo, August 20th weekend. What do the boys got for me?
August 20th?
Yeah.
That's like the one day that there's nothing on. But there's storms on both sides, 17th through the 19th and 21st and 23rd.
There you go, Bradley. How about that? Here's another one. So, boy, better have a good answer because this comes from the Otter Tail Sheriff's Department. Oh, boys, you better deliver. Weather for July 16th, Pelican Rapids / Duntonville. It's my son's wedding.
Plead the 5th?
July 16th?
July 16th. And this guy will cuff you guys up.
Well, it looks like 12th and 17th are marked on here, and then a better chance 22nd through the 25th, so it should be okay.
Should be okay on the 16th. Here's another one, family reunion. Oh, those are never good.
Oh, no.
June 25th, Fergus Falls, Otter Tail County. Rain, guys, or sunshine?
June 25th is
not good.
We're looking at a major storm system coming through around the 25th.
Of course we
are.
That's about that 63-day mark.
That's that big one that just came through, and the same one that brought tornadoes to southern Minnesota in December for the first time. I think it'll be a touch weaker than that, but that's one of our major storm systems.
Doesn't matter. Your family reunion, they want to be outside.
Well, but if you're lucky, the thunder will drown out crazy Uncle Festus from doing something dumb.
Nothing drowns out crazy Uncle Festus. Nothing does. Let's see. Okay, let me get back to calls here. I'm going to try to get all these emails in. Who has been waiting? Jim's been waiting the longest here in Fargo. Jim, you're up on the Jay Thomas Show for the Spring-Summer Outlook.
Thank you. Can you tell me what the weather in the cities is going to be like on June 2nd?
June 2nd.
That's the start of the drying trend, isn't it?
It's the start.
It's just after.
Yeah, the dry trend starts just after. The 31st to the 2nd, there's a 3-day window where we could be looking at a good severe weather outbreak.
Okay, is that whole week from Memorial Day to the end of the week? Is that going to be pretty much a total washout?
Memorial Day.
Well, Memorial Day's on the 30th, and it looks like we're looking at 28th through June 2nd. I mean, multiple days severe weather event. So the 30th, you might squeak in a dry Memorial Day, but bookends on that are going to be pretty stormy.
I quit.
Oh, you didn't hear us? Every holiday we're expecting something.
Oh, I heard.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard.
At least in the area.
Are you right? Are you writing this down, June?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I hope everybody's writing this down. I hope you're all writing this down.
I hope we're wrong.
I hope they're wrong.
I hope we're wrong, and we get all the hate mail, and week by week as they pass, I want the hate mail if it doesn't come through.
Thanks, June. Kathy's next in Fargo. Kathy, you're up on a Jay Thomas show with the Spring Summer Special.
Hi, I'm wondering about August 15th through the 21st near Pequot Lakes and Cross Lake, Minnesota. We've got family vacation up at the lake there.
Down by the Brainerd area.
And what were the dates?
August 15th through the 21st.
Well, there's a couple of storm periods that have come through during that point. If you're over in the Cross Lake area in Minnesota, I think the first couple, at least for the first half of that time frame, are going to sneak off to the west, not really hit as hard out there if they even track to that area. I think your better chance is going to come closer to the 18th and another one on the 21st, but that 21st storm by that time period in August will probably push further to the south out of our area.
Very good. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't think you do, Kathy. I don't blame you. Let's go to, I think I might know who this is. Beth and Hankinson. I bet I know what you're calling about.
June 10th and 11th.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Our music festival in Hankinson.
Yep, that's what I figured.
June 10th and 11th. You might squeak by. Okay, maybe something on June 10th and then nothing until 13th through the 16th.
Okay, great. When are our farmers going to get out in the field in May?
Looks like, and we were talking about that earlier, there's a window between the 10th and the 17th where we should have some drier weather where they can get out.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Beth. Glad you're listening. All right, when are we going to get back into the? When are we going to hit the 70s, Dean?
Consistently?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that'd be nice.
It probably during that drying trend. I think we'll see
Mid-May?
some in mid-May.
Okay. Wapaton, it's Nick. Nick, you're up.
How's it going?
Going good, buddy. Other than this weather outlook.
Right. What's the weather for WeFest? First weekend in August.
First weekend of August?
Yeah.
All right, let me just pull my calendar.
100% chance of a party.
Yeah, 100% chance for a party. There we go. That's good.
You hear that? Ronnie puts a little twang in it.
Like it. That's your forecast right there. Book it.
That's
so 5th through the 7th of August.
Yep.
Looks like something that right before WeFest would start, maybe leading into that Friday. The rest of the weekend looks like it should be okay.
And I need to buy it now. Is it Nick?
What's the weather this weekend in Williston? I'm heading up there to help restore power right now.
Oh, this weekend?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Rain and snow.
I figured that.
It should improve on Sunday, but Saturday looks kind of.
Hey, thanks for running up there. Thanks for running up there because there's some folks
no
northwest of Williston. They weren't expecting to get power until well into next week. So the more hands on deck, the better.
Yeah, that's why I do what I do.
You're a rock star, Nick. You really are, man. Be safe out there, brother.
Always.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. All right, Bill, you're coming up in Frazee, Niels, and Grand Forks. Matter of fact, let me grab Bill before the break here real quick because he's been waiting almost 15 minutes. Hey, Bill, you're up.
May 29th in Park Rapids, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, whatever, buddy. You're funny.
No, actually.
What? Nice?
Or Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, Memorial Day weekend looks crappy. Sorry.
You're adorable, Bill.
You're
adorable. Would you?
Well, I might be, but the weather ain't. So
you might squeak out
adorable.
one dry day, but that's about it.
When has Memorial Day been really awesome?
I don't think it has ever had a nice. No, it wasn't. I don't think I have ever experienced a nice Memorial Day.
You know why? Because you're still a young whippersnapper.
I've got plenty of years in me.
Yeah, please.
Not as many as you, Jay.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I was around when he up there was still wearing short pants. All right, Neil and Grand Forks, you're coming up. Jeff Felton, you're on the way. Karen and Fargo, you're on the way. I got a couple open lines. I'll get to these emails that piled up. We got at some point slip in a recap. Here's quick, go through June, July, August, September. And these emails. I'm gonna try to bang all these emails. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, we have a lot of them too on our personal side.
Drew 949,000 toll-free 1-888-970-9329. Email talk WDAY.com. It is the spring summer weather special, the LRC, brought to you by Jiffy Lube of Fargo, Dakota Plains Mechanical, Rainbow Place Systems, the North Dakota Gateway Building Systems, Nelson Auto Center, and the North Dakota Farmers Union. More when we come back on the Jay Thomas Show.
Mainly clear skies this evening. It will be on the breezy side with temperatures holding in the 40s as clouds increase tonight. That'll put a cap on our temperatures, dropping off to a low in the mid-30s. And for Thursday, breezy with a few scattered showers, highs in the mid to upper 40s. A better chance for rain overspreading the area Friday and this Saturday with highs both days around 50. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at WDAYRadioNow.com. From the WDAY SkyWatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
Never before has home ownership been so easy and so affordable. The Village Cooperative offers hassle-free living that gives you more time to enjoy what you enjoy doing. It's an active, vibrant, and caring community. Our member residents tell us it feels like home. That's because it is. Now is the time to make your best move and on your terms. Call today to learn more before we sell out. Call 701-997-2900. That's 701-997-2900. Call now.
More of the Jay Thomas Show in 60 seconds.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, have we got the car for you? It's the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. With sure-footed, symmetrical all-wheel drive, plus 9.2 inches of ground clearance, you can now explore like never before. Test drive the new Forester Wilderness today at Mosquitoes Subaru, just off Exit 1 in Moorhead, or check it out online at muscatelssubaru.com. Go where love takes you. Subaru.
Time now for Focus on the Field with your Ag Director, Agriculturalist Bridgette Readel.
The Environmental Protection Agency, known as the EPA, has released a plan to revamp its pesticide review process to better protect endangered species from pesticide use. The EPA says it has been falling behind on the review of pesticides and struggling to meet the Endangered Species Act obligations under the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act because of the length of the process and high volume of reviews. The agency's plan aims to better review ESA obligations under FIFRA and to better identify protection actions to be taken, shorten the length of the process, and streamline communication between EPA and pesticide users.
That's today's Focus on the Field with Bridgette Readel, your ag industry expert. Tune in for Bridgette's Ag News updates each weekday here on WDAY.
All right, it's 4:34 right now. God, what is it? I think we hit 50 here, did we? Right now, it's beautiful outside.
Is it 50?
I think I last checked on my, let's see, let me update this.
47, 48 last check.
It was 50. Yeah, we're at 50 right now. It's actually, I can't believe it's gorgeous outside, 50 degrees.
You're welcome.
And it's the end of film.
You're welcome.
Okay. Wait, they'll take credit for this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll take credit for all
phone lines are full. I'm telling you, I know you guys all want to go have cocktails afterwards, but I'll tell you, I'll cancel the news at 5 o'clock. We still got full phone lines.
So we've got Facebook question.
No, you don't. We're going to do my question first.
Real quick. Fishing tournament, Devil's Lake, June 17th. Will it be windy that day? Well, there's no storms forecasted for that day, so should be okay.
All right, ready? Cruise nights. First one, June 14th.
June 14th. For
one storm around June 14th. I have the 13th through the 16th. One or two storms.
Here in West Fargo.
Northern Plains.
Okay, that narrows it down. All right.
I can't tell you exactly where they'll track.
July 21st.
Something right before it.
Of course. August 18th.
Where's August?
August 17th.
Down the road.
Yeah, that's where we had the big blizzard here in just this month. So there will be another severe weather threat coming up August 17th through the 19th.
This is just fun. We had a cruise night meeting this morning. I should have known this. I'd just say cancel cruise night. And the last one is the 15th of September.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Oh, okay. Well, we get one. Oh, that's fabulous. Of course, these things could wobble as well. All right.
Wobble.
The wobble. Okay. Let's see who's been waiting the longest. It looks like Neil. Neil up at Grand Forks. You're up on the Jay Thomas Show, the spring and summer outlook.
Yeah, August 26th, 27th, 28th, in like the Larimore, Grand Forks, North Dakota area.
26th, 27th, 28th, you said?
Yes, sir.
August 27th, we're expecting that big storm that just came through, brought the 2 tornadoes to the southern Red River Valley. That will return August 27th approximately.
All right, there goes my day. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bridgette, you still in there?
You know what I've realized out of listening to everything you guys have talked about? I'm the last person in Cass County to figure out what my summer vacation is. Because everybody else seems to know where theirs is and what days.
Our summer vacations are backyard, okay? And it doesn't really look like we're going to enjoy that too much this summer.
Exactly.
Not like last summer.
Is it going to be warm? I kind of miss that. What temperature? We're talking about all this rain. What about the temperatures this summer?
32 and sunny.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, so we'll take a small dip. So we're really going to start shooting this up temperature wise. Man, God, I need readers. Middle of June, we'll start to peak things up quite a bit. We'll tail off a little bit temperature-wise, very end of June, early July. And then after the 4th, we'll really start to see temperatures climb. We'll peak, our hottest time of the year here. We're really going to start to peak end of July, early August. We'll take a very small dip early August, shoot back up middle of August, and then there's going to be a sharp cutoff from about August 20th, and let's say August 25th, all the way through the month of September.
Are you serious? No, when you say sharp cutoff, what are you talking
temperatures really falling quickly during the month of September. So don't plan. I would, according to this, could have an early frost in September.
And then June, when you say we were talking 70s in June, right? And then going up in the middle of June or what?
Yeah, we're looking at so June, we'll start out the month a little cooler. We'll actually be warmer mid-May, just after mid-May. We'll cool down to very early June, and then really start to spike the temperatures up as we head into the middle of the month.
Karen's in Fargo. You're up, Karen. She's gone. Joyce in Pelican Rapids.
Hey, I think you already answered my question about July 4th, but I'll tell you, the lakes over here, I just came from Detroit Lakes. They're all frozen, Jay. They're all frozen, man.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
This is awful. I can't believe this.
I haven't taken the cover off the pool yet. I'm afraid to because I'm guessing it's still a block of ice. This is just nuts.
Terrible. Anyway,
we'll get
I was asking about
there.
July 4th, but I think you already answered my question.
Yeah, July 4th weekend looks pretty wet. Stormy.
Yeah, it's great.
That doesn't mean we won't have
Memorial Day too, huh? And
Same.
Labor Day also?
Yeah, all three.
Jeez, man.
Welcome. Thanks a lot, Jay.
You don't blame me. Blame these guys.
No, you know what? I mean,
All right.
Thanks, Joyce.
We could conceivably have a dry day or two,
Yeah.
but that whole period from July 1st through the 6th, there's going to be 3 storms with severe threats coming through there. I mean, you know, we could get a couple of dry, decent days in there. It's not we can't, but the threat. The 1st through the 6th, there's a good threat for storms.
You're talking about fluctuating, you know, we're going to up, down, which you always do. But, I mean, summer-wise in general, we're going to have the ups and downs. I mean, once we start getting into mid-May, you said things are going to go up. Then June, you're going to have a little bit of a downturn. Then the mid or latter part of you should go down. So when you say downturn, does that mean we're going to be in the 60s, 70s, 50s?
According to this, we're looking at like early June. Early June's going to be kind of chilly. I'd say probably 60s. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a safe bet. And then as we head towards the middle of the month, we'll start to warm things up quite a bit.
Are you talking 80s,
70s
90s?
and 80s.
70s and 80s.
And then our hottest time looks to be, let's say, from about July 15th through about August 1st.
Which is about normal around here.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and temperatures are going to be pretty close to
The average.
a touch above normal. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. The
As
bulk,
a whole.
the bulk of this summer, temperatures will be near or just slightly above average, and precip will be slightly above average. So you take an average year, we get about 25% more water than an average year. And I don't have I'll pull it up, but what the average number is.
Bridgette, hearing this whole thing this afternoon, how are you feeling for the farmers and ranchers?
Well, first of all, our pastures are going to get a chance to recover because we're going to see more rainfall, which is a good thing. We really tore some of those up last year. Just thankfully, people were decreasing herds so they didn't overgraze. When I think about what will look like for the farm, again, if we have so much cloud cover, that's going to hold us back in our growing degree days because we won't get enough heat units. But let's not panic yet. We talk about weather systems like Justin mentioned, but we might not be getting 4 inches of rain every single time.
Yeah.
So that is going to be helpful. The other thing I think about is I know farmers look at their soybeans through the month of June and get real nervous because they don't look right. Let me just remind everybody, your soybeans look like crap till the 4th of July. Stop panicking. Just give them a little bit of time to recover. They'll be okay. And I know someone's going to say, well, you're wrong. But generally speaking, not on this one.
Okay, knee high by the 4th of July. We're going to see that this year with this weather.
We're going to need
for
to
the
get
corn.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, we're going to need corn planted soon. And whose knee are you using? Because mine, it's definitely going to make it. Yours, it's going to be a different story. We got
now we're using your knee. The knee high. We don't mean a foot off the ground.
unit of measurement matters here.
We'll use Ronnie's.
Okay.
Let's see who has been waiting the longest. Jeff's in Felton. Jeff, you're up on the Jay Thomas Show for the weather special.
Hey, thanks, Jay. What are these shake masters saying about the River Fair, especially like the docking concert?
Yeah, that's right. We got the Red River Fair July 7th. I should know this. Shame on me.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
You're the board member.
Yeah, I know. There was a big meeting last night, the yearly meeting, and I missed it. Let's see, Red River Valley Fair. It is
the docking concert starts at 2.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me bring it up here. This year's Red River Valley Fair, the greatest show on the planet. Whoa. Well, come on. This is embarrassing. July 8th through the 17th. 10 best days of summer.
July 8th through the 17th?
Yeah.
Looks like you'll be seeing something around the 12th or the 17th.
12th through the 17th. Okay, so that'd be, okay. Now, what day were you specifically looking for, Jeff?
The dock and Lita Ford.
That is
Concert.
Sunday the 17th. That's the last day of the fair. What's that look like, boys?
17th could see a storm around the area.
Lita Ford in a wet tank top. That's going to be terrible.
It's all about priorities, kids. All about priorities.
Hey, remember, storm season is coming. If the vans pull up, bras and teeth, people. Bras and teeth.
Hey,
okay.
Amen.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Let's see. I think Paul's next. Paul, you're up. Jay Thomas Show.
Hi. I was just wondering if are we going to have any dry periods in the first part of May? Because I want to re-oil my deck.
No, wait till. Wait till after. Again, about the 10th. What were we saying, Justin? 10th through the 15th, 17th, right? That's
10th through the 17th dry period.
About the 10th through the 17th.
Yeah, that'd be your best. That'd be your best bet.
Okay, and then what about in June? Because I want to scrape and paint on the house a little bit. Is there any dry periods then?
Well, if you can get it done in one day, you're good to go, baby.
I can't get it done in one day.
Yeah, for June,
third through the 7th. Third through the 7th looks okay. Then we've got a little stormy period coming up, the 8th, 10th, 13th through the 16th.
All right.
Go buy your supplies now. Be ready to roll when the day arrives.
Exactly. Good luck on that, Paul. Let's go all the way up to Pembina, and Ron's waiting. Ron, Jay Thomas Show.
Yeah, hello, Jay.
Hey, buddy.
Say, I don't like to be asked too broad a question, but I just wonder, all in all, how the summer looks like June, July, August, September. I plan to attend a lot of the car events, and I know that's kind of a broad question to ask all that range, but how does it look all in all on the weekends? And if it can give you some kind of an answer on that, I'd appreciate it.
So that was June, July, August?
Yeah.
So that first week of July, you'll probably see a couple of storm systems come through. Then we're going to sprinkle about 2 or 3 through the middle of July. A couple of those ones will probably be bigger storms that'll produce severe weather. The end of July looks like it's going to be active with a few days of severe threats around the 28th, 30th. Might see one earlier on the 25th. August will be mostly dry. I have a few dates in here. We'll probably see around the 2nd to the 5th of August. Maybe the 11th, the 13th through the 16th, we'll see 1 or 2 storms, and then we'll see 1 or 2 more again towards the tail end of August.
Well, I thank you for the report. Okay.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it, brother. Brock and Fargo, Jay Thomas Show.
Yeah, hey, can you guys tell me we're hoping to go to Moab, Utah for Memorial Day week. Can you tell me what that's looking like out there?
That's beautiful out there.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, and the weekend, and then the week
Utah,
right after.
Yep. Well, those storms will be coming out of the Rockies or Northern Plains.
They probably won't pick the moisture up until they eject off the Rockies.
Yeah, so
if anything, it'll probably just be windy.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. Most of the moisture should be to your north.
Okay, so some good hiking weather, hopefully.
Yeah, they've been awful dry. They've been awful dry out there. Boy, they need some rain too.
All righty. All right, thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks, Brock. How about win this summer? What's the problem?
There's no one on the phone lines. This is your opportunity.
No, don't. Unless you guys want to stay here, because I'll keep going. I'll go until 6 o'clock if we have to. I'll can the news at the top of the hour.
We've got happy hour.
Your happy hour is going to happen when the phones are done. How about win this summer? It has been a windy winter.
And we were talking about that too. So remember in the fall, how windy it was in the fall. And the question was, is this going to continue through the winter and spring? And we said, absolutely. And it has. Now, will this continue through the summer? Yes. However, with the main storm track and the jet stream lifting north, the winds won't be as strong as they have been for the fall, for the spring, and into the summer. Again, yes, windy, not as bad.
The other thing with that, too, is, with the jet stream weakening, the storms going a little further, we've been bouncing around quite extremely this winter from, let's say we heat up to 30, we're back down 20 below, and this is all happening within a week. Those extremes are going to become less and less.
Okay.
So we'll still get the up and down, just not to the same degree.
All right, I got a bunch of phone calls, but here's what we're going to do, guys, because there are so many emails here. This is going to be rapid fire. I don't want 2 minutes. I just boom, 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 because these are pretty basic. So we're going to bang through these things.
Let's go.
All right, first one. Would really like to know what the closer weather will be for Richland County, North Dakota. I don't know what closer weather. A lot of people use this talk to send in their stuff. The talking.
Oh, talk to
talk to text. I'm going to pass it out.
Okay.
I don't know. Resend that one if you want. Another one. What is the weather going to be for Barnes County, North Dakota? When? Pass it on that one. You got to be more specific, man. Another one. We have a wedding on the weekend of June 4th. Can you tell me what kind of weather, wet/dry temperature we can expect in the Callaway, Detroit Lakes area?
June
4th.
Looks okay. Here we got a storm on the 2nd, not another one till the 8th.
Okay, there we go. Let's see another one. Why wasn't Jay on? Oh, did he move to another channel? No, we told you why I wasn't on today. We've been saying for weeks. Let's see. What is the weather like? Hilton Head, South Carolina, September 15th through the 20th.
Forward that to me. Again, we're just focusing on our area here. We can get that information back in the weather office.
See if I can get it to you from, there it is right there. Okay. All right. I'm going to forward that one. If you're still listening, Dean's going to send you that.
Thanks, Carol.
Another email. My buddy Kenny. When the pattern resets, is there a void or gap in the forecast, or how do you figure out the next pattern?
So the pattern will start. That's a good question. The pattern will start roughly October 4th through the 6th, and then we'll see what upper level pattern starts then. And then when we see that pattern come back around, whether it's 30 days, 40, 50, 60, then the cycle is set. So is there a gap in there? Where we're just there will be a gap, and it's usually right in the start of October where we can't forecast using the LRC until that pattern sets itself.
Another email coming through talk at WDAY.com. What's the weather going to be like at West Crooked Lake in Minnesota on the weekend of June 10th? I don't know where West Crooked Lake is.
I don't either.
We've got storms coming through here the 8th and the 10th, and then the break 13th through the 16th. So
Another email. Hey, Jay, will the show today be on your podcast? I've been able to listen to the whole show today. Yes, it will be. It'll be up at my pod. Yeah. Are you guys putting it up under my podcast right now? How are you putting that up?
Well, the way that what I saw is that we recorded the first 2 hours separately, and then this is being recorded separately from that.
Now you put it all together. That's ridiculous.
Right.
It all goes together. So I'm going to say WDAYRadioNow.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Or AM1100theflag.com.
Ronnie, you miracle worker, make it happen.
Yeah. Did you see the look on Ronnie's face?
Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't like that.
Are you kidding me?
Ronnie ain't going to happy hour.
I'll buy you a beer.
Is there another email? Is that an arbitrary starting point, or does one's something special happen at okay, I don't understand that.
The start of the cycle.
Please pre-read before you send your emails.
Yeah.
I'm blowing them off. Jay and I both want to know when we can open up our swimming pools. Kenny, end of July.
Hey,
June
1st. You could open it up right now.
Another email. You mentioned August 20th getting colder and a colder September. Does this increase our chances of an early frost that would kill off crops? Fargo typically gets a killing frost around mid-September. Asking for my propane supplier friend.
More than likely.
More than likely, Tommy. Another one. Is there a way to view the LRC via an app or website?
So you go to weather2020.substack.com. So that's weather2020.substack.com.
Another email, Jay. Can you ask Dean if he's going to post his notes for the summer on the website?
Yes. What we'll do, and it might not be, we'll probably do that next week. Once we kind of go over this a little more, we'll post month by month. We'll kind of, we should just list the nice days.
Well, exactly. Here's what we're going to do.
Easier.
Here's what we're going to do. If we've got time tomorrow before I come on the air, Dean, you and I will sit down and do like we did in December. I'm just going to quick jot down. And then tomorrow at 2 o'clock when I have Dean on at 2:05, we'll just zip right through everything. So be listening tomorrow, folks, again, and we'll recap everything. Another email. Hey, Jay, what is it looking like for the middle of August? My brother and I are going out to Cedar City, Utah sometime mid-August to house sit for the grandparents while we're on vacation. Cedar City, Utah, mid-August.
That'd be, wait, where was it again? Sorry.
Cedar City, Utah.
Oh.
Again,
I'd have to go back and look at the
that'll be
map.
bad.
More than likely windier than wet.
The wind, more wind than wet. And
Nate, I'm going to forward this to Dino. I'll forward this to Dean.
Cool.
Like he doesn't have enough on his. Okay, listen, it's coming up on 5. I got 7 minutes. I got full phone lines, so we're going to bang through these quick. Here we go. First, who's been waiting the longest? Steve, West Fargo, you're up. Jay Thomas Show, the Spring and Summer Outlook.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just curious what it's going to look like for the Lake of the Woods area. Probably the second and third week of August.
So let's go 14th through the 21st.
You can go longer than that if you want, a little longer or whatever. But
I just pack up and move, pal.
Well, here, I'll give you give you 3 days where we're going to see bigger storms in the area. That's going to be between the 13th and the 16th, around the 17th to the 19th, and the 21st and 27th. We'll see probably 3 bigger storms in that time period.
Yeah, well, there goes my fishing.
Well,
Okay,
what did you expect, Steve? Again, I want to thank our sponsor, Dakota Plains Mechanical, also Rainbow Place Systems and North Dakota Gateway Building Systems, Nelson Auto Center, North Dakota Farmers Union. Big thank you. Also, Jiffy Lube of Fargo. They all made this possible. The Spring-Summer Outlook of the LRC. Let's go to, I believe Cindy's waiting. Detroit Lake. Cindy, you're up. Jay Thomas Show.
Hi, I'm wondering if you can tell me about Breezy Point, August 5th, 6th, and 7th.
That's still my Brainerd, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
That time period, you'll see something just before out there around the area, around the 3rd to the 5th. Rest of that looks fine.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Who's next? Julie's in Fergus Falls. Julie, Jay Thomas Show.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
My question is how does the Farmer's Almanac compare to this LRC?
Well, that's hold on a second.
That's a good question.
Hold on, everybody. Just hang on. Julie, what the hell do you think we're using? Who do you think writes that almanac?
They're two totally different things. This is much more accurate and a little more proven science. Although the Farmer's Almanac would argue about that. But compare them side by
we
side.
Have been, we get it every year, and we look through it every year. And my grandpa, that's how he farmed, was that Farmer's Almanac.
A lot of.
Did you look at it this year?
I have, and I can't believe how much it's on.
I was going to say, what's it say?
Well, I don't have it in front of me now, but some of the winter storm dates that they listed was what we ended up having.
Is it by chance? Does it say?
Justin, don't take this personally. Come on, dude. Good Lord,
I want to know what it says. I'm
go
damn curious.
Go buy a copy of
I
it.
ain't buying that.
You can go to anybody's outhouse and find
You
one.
guys are talking, and when I get home, I'm going to open up my Farmer's Almanac. It's like my Bible, and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see how it compares.
Yes.
Hey, there we go.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it. You want a Farmer's Almanac, Justin? Go find any outhouse. You'll find one. Jim's in Holly. Jim, you're on Jay Thomas Show. What's up?
Oh, hey, July 7th, 8th, and 9th for Holly. Our 150th celebration.
150 years. Really?
Could see something on right before that, and then around July 8th. And then looks like 9th, 10th, and 11th look quiet.
Okay. Thank you much.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Tony's in Lake Park. Jay Thomas Show.
Hey guys, how's this going? I love listening about this LRC, but my question is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dean, I thought you said that this repeats itself about every 60 days. Is that correct?
Well, that's this year's cycle. So we're on a 63-day cycle this year. Now, every year is different. You could have a 30-day cycle, a 45-day cycle, and as Gary was saying during the show, this is the second longest cycle he's seen. I think there was a 70-day cycle. Yeah. This is the second longest cycle. Typically, they're a little bit shorter than this.
Sure, because I was just wondering, and I was like, if it's set like this, how do you end up having what changes if we're having storms every 60 days? What's going to throw it off, and when does it change from a 60-day cycle to a 45-day cycle, and then what causes it to dry up versus a wet cycle?
You're gonna love this. Okay, explain real quick how this resets. It's awesome, Tony.
It resets between the 4th and the 6th of October. The reason being, and we're not 100% sure, but that's when the sun sets at the North Pole and they go into total darkness. So it's right around that time where the cycle resets, and then we look on our upper level weather charts, what's the pattern between the 4th and the 6th, roughly right around that time period. And we'll watch exactly what that pattern is in that time frame. And when we see that pattern reappear 30, 40, 45, 50 days later, bam, cycle is set.
Awesome. I'm sorry I missed the show, Jay. Some people got to work. And the radio.
It'll be on the website.
That's low rent right there.
It'll be safe. And I wanted to ask that question forever, especially in the mornings on my commute in. But thank you. I appreciate the answer on that, Dean.
You bet.
Thanks for listening, Tony. We love you, brother. All right, Tim Fargo, Jay Thomas Show.
Hi, like Ketchikan in Juneau, Alaska, the first 2 weeks of June.
Did you say Ketchikan, Alaska?
Yeah.
Cold.
Again, all that stuff outside of the general area, Midwest, the Rockies, that we have that back in our weather office. You can shoot me an email, weather@flagfamily.com.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Master Sergeant Eric Marks, Jay Thomas Show, weather special. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just going to say thank you so much, guys, for putting this info out here. You kind of answered my question before, because I was going to ask what weekends isn't it going to storm around here? Because then I would invite my relatives on the crappy weekends and my friends on the good weekends.
Now that's a man who plans. Excellent work.
Perfect.
How dare you?
Thanks, Master.
Thank you, guys. And tell Gary thank you, too.
All right, will do.
All right, let me do one more. Chuck Fargo, Jay Thomas Show.
Hey, Jay, how's it going today?
Going good, Chuck, except for, this outlook for the summer.
I know. Say, we're going to a wedding down Sarasota, Florida, May 16th to the 21st.
It's a home run. It's Florida.
Yeah,
no matter what.
It's Florida. It's nice. Chance of rain every day. It's Florida.
That's about it.
It's Florida, though.
Like Colorado, same thing.
No, I think in that time period, you're probably going to see one event that might stretch far enough south to affect the northern panhandle.
Okay, very good.
Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it. All right, coming up, it is 5 o'clock.
Holy.
All right, hold on, Ronnie. I know news is on, but they can wait. All right, so again, all this information is a lot to take in.
Yep.
I'm just going to recap. Bridgette, farm, ranch-wise, your big concern is the clouds, all the cloud cover.
Well, I think cloud cover, making sure that when we get moisture, we're not getting hard packing 4-inch rains. We want to have, something that's going to be suitable to what we're doing and not just wash us away. And again, the wind. Wind is going to matter because there's a lot of things we've got to do in May and June that are dependent on having something under 10 to 15 miles an hour. We need it lower than that.
Justin, recap for you, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So in general, what we're going to be looking at for the summer is it's going to be an active period. It'll probably have storm systems at least likely one a week. And when we fall into our stormy periods, we'll probably see a couple of storms within that time period. Precip across eastern North Dakota about 125% above average. Western North Dakota closer to average. Over in Minnesota, again, slightly above average, about 120, 130%. So you get about 30% more rain.
Dino?
I need a beer.
Yeah, we all do. Everybody listening.
I'll be on your show tomorrow, and we will recap tomorrow.
We'll go through.
We'll go kind of May, June, July, August, and it might just be easier just to list, like you said, the nicer days opposed to
right.
the
And
days.
and just to go out there and say that, all these dates that we're giving out here, that's not.
Exactly.
That's not the 100% chance it's going to be raining here in Fargo. It means that these storm systems are very likely to track across our area.
We just don't know they could. Well, I mean, 20 miles makes a difference. 50 miles makes a difference. So what we'll do is we'll do like we did in December. The big storms, okay, the ones that you think, okay, it's going to be, the 19th through the 20th, something big.
Yeah,
we'll do that, and then the nice weekends, and we'll have that already. And then, okay, when will this podcast be up, Ronnie? Is it going to be later on this evening?
I'll do my best.
You know what? Just let's. Okay, you'll do your best. Okay, and it'll be up at WDAYRadioNow.com, AM1100theflag.com as well. And just put it all together as one.
It shouldn't take too long. I mean, it might be a little later than it normally would at 5:30, say 6 o'clock.
That's not a problem. Don't worry. As long as you get it up there by 5:40, 10 minutes later, you're okay.
Anything you want.
Okay, anything to do with this special today? A big thank you to Gary Lezak and to you, Justin Storm, also to you, Bridgette, and to you, Dino. I mean,
and if there's any additional
questions,
just send them to weather@flagfamily.com, and we'll answer those over the next few days.
And again, a lot of this information isn't going to be up on our websites at some point.
I'll get something put together over the next few days. At the latest, we'll get this up early next week once we kind of fine tune and go through exactly what we want to put up there. So let's plan on early next week. We'll have a nice article on our website.
Bridgette Readel, how do people follow you?
Anytime they want, ag@flagfamily.com, or you can reach me on Twitter @BMReadel.
How about you, Justin?
Weather@flagfamily.com, or I'm on my Facebook page, Meteorologist Justin Storm.
Dino?
Weatherstud@flagfamily.com. Just weather
Dr. Speedo.
And on Twitter, it's Suave799.
Just weather@flagfamily.com.
That's simple. All right. Hey, great job, guys. A lot of information.
Man.
Big thank you to the sponsor that made that made this possible, the spring summer LRC Outlook, and that is Jiffy Lube of Fargo, Dakota Plains Mechanical, Rainbow Play Systems in North Dakota, also Gateway Building Systems in Nelson Auto Center, North Dakota Farmers Union. Folks, have a great evening. I'm back in this chair at 2 o'clock tomorrow with Dino, as always, for the first start of the show. Have a great evening. Your news, as always, it's always in progress. I can never read a clock. News is
more
next.
weather, more news.